Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Feels like work. Shooting the shit for 2 hours, drinking beer and talking beer. What a wonderful experience.
Can we not have the barf bucket near my mixing board?
I think everybody could read the book.
I knew you were going to use this book as an excuse to quit doing this show.
Yeah. Mrs. Bub, if you want, I can mail you the Bub Timer.
Yeah, Newcastle, especially in the can. Have you ever had it in the can? No, I have not had it in the can.
Notice I closed my eyes and I concentrated really hard.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Justin Crosley. I'm your host this week.
That's unusual or something.
I get to host.
Yeah. We need game show music. And I'm your host, Justin Crosley.
He already is saying he gets to. Like he actually enjoys doing it.
I get to host.
That's true.
Yeah, I've got a big foam shocker finger. Wow. This is my new...
really knows how to roll.
Go.
Did you custom order that?
I'm going to host the whole show like this, just waving it around.
Please do.
In your face.
Shocking the whole room.
Yeah. I found out this week that I got my test results back.
Oh, now we need drum rolls.
Yeah.
All right. Where's that sound effects board?
Well, he's here, so that probably means it's not the worst it could be.
Or this is good. Or he wants to leave his legacy. So for the next 4 shows that he's going to be alive, he wants to fucking knock it out of the park every goddamn day.
Go down swinging.
Yeah,
could be that. Or I want you to hear the sadness in my
go down swinging.
Or I want to have a slow, steady decline on air.
You can answer if it's better to burn out or fade away. We don't.
I'm here to finally answer that question for the world.
All right, let's do this.
You know, the Rolling Stones asked it, and I'm here to answer it.
Wasn't it Def Leppard?
No, that was later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
one arm at a time.
Yeah, they took it on and still haven't answered it.
All right.
So, if you'll remember from last week's show, I had to go have all these tests done because my feet are falling off or whatever the fuck's happening down there. And you'll remember the list of possible things, both from my doctor and then others that we came up with during the program.
Yes, I do.
Were diabetes, syphilis,
gonorrhea,
HIV,
AIDS, gout.
Gout was the number one recommendation or prognosis from staff here on the show. Doc thought that, and I also got several emails from listeners basically telling me I have gout.
So you did it?
Oh yeah,
really? Everyone's an armchair doctor.
You know what's funny? Actually, every time I bring up my health issues on the air, I get more emails than any other time.
Really?
and they're always very cool. People are really nice about it, and they're always like, "I've had this," and sometimes they've been right. Like when I was having liver issues, I got actually a listener even sent me a
liver
medication, not prescription, like homeopathic.
Okay.
Like teas and milk thistle bullshit.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Them and David Avocado Wolf.
Things you totally did.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Now they're in the Martinez landfill.
Right.
So anyhow,
well, that's nice. That's very nice.
It is nice.
People,
it's always it's always very cool. So I will now go down the list. I am not a diabetic.
There we go, baby. There we go.
That's good.
I do not have syphilis.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That one I felt particularly good about.
You and Kate are high-fiving on that one?
Yeah. Shot across the bow.
Yeah.
Right.
I do not have the HIV.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, no HIV.
But do you have AIDS?
Two
well, they didn't
separate
test
things.
for that, so now I got to go back.
There you go.
Not
out of the clear.
The one I was really most thankful about.
Yeah.
Because I can't live without charcuterie and other foods. I do not have gout.
There we go. That's right.
I don't have gout.
A lot of people lost money on that bet.
Yeah, that was the
I'll
main.
pay you later, Warren.
Okay. That was the main prognosis. So those are all good things. The thing I do have that was on the list is the best of all possible things. Although it does have severe side effects if I don't take care of it. Yeah. I have a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. Deficiency.
Okay,
yeah.
Deficiency. You're deficient in vitamin B12.
Severely deficient.
What does that mean?
Well, it means mostly what it means is that my body does not absorb the vitamin very well on its own. So, of course, it could mean that I'm not eating anything with B12, but that's not really the case.
Right.
And most people, you can just eat a normal amount of normal foods, some red meat, some eggs, some cheese, some fish, and you're going to get all the B12. But my body does not absorb it properly.
Yeah, so no matter how much.
So the good news is, that this is hopefully a fixable issue. The bad news is I've likely had it for years, like years, because by the time it starts showing up with nerve damage, you've had it for a while, and so
that's what they think is going on, the nerve damage from the lack of vitamin
B12.
Okay.
So basically, it really affects your entire nerve system. And here's where it gets like sort of good news, bad news. Like, I don't know, sorry, not sorry, whatever.
Right.
It will heavily affect that entire system, including the brain, ultimately leading to dementia later in life. So that's going to be fun. But even like not thinking clearly, and depression, and anxiety, and fatigue, and these number of things that I've basically been, even I think our listeners know, have been experiencing over the last couple years.
Yeah, wow.
All heavily related to this lack of vitamin B12.
Crazy.
And then there's a whole host of other things that go along with it. It's really so. In other words,
small dick syndrome.
The doctor's like, I guess the good news is you have the lesser of all the evils. The bad news is it's very serious if we don't. So anyhow, I don't know. I'm now on like a gazillion micrograms of B12 a day. I have to do this for a 6-week period of time. Go back and test if my body's still not absorbing it, because in some cases you can put in all you want, but if your body doesn't do anything, then I have to go to monthly shots, like for the rest of my life. Like they got to shoot that shit.
That's insane.
Really?
Suppositories wouldn't work.
Suppository, yeah, those are fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask for that.
Can I shove my finger up my own ass once a month?
She's like, we're just going to inject it. No, I heard you the first time. What I'm wondering is, isn't there a better, more fun way?
I can inject you. I know how to do that.
Oh, you do?
I've injected my family members with B12 specifically.
Various depositories?
Windex,
No.
bleach.
Yeah. Only injections. No,
well, then
no
we should make it an on-show thing.
I can do
like
it.
a monthly.
Although,
I get my dog a shot every day.
Now, I like to just lay it all out on the table, even if it's rather embarrassing for me. I feel like I could help people. One of the comments from my doctor was she was a bit surprised that at my age I have this problem. You either sort of have it when you're a baby because they find out things aren't working and they sort it out.
Yeah.
or you have it much later because organs are failing. When you see it at my age, it's generally what they see in alcoholics. It's basically what she said. So what happens is my liver is so busy doing other things that it has no time to process B12 and help me with that.
It has no time for what it's made
you'll
for.
remember
I feel like maybe this isn't funny.
No, it's fine. You'll remember that I said I'm actually usually the one who brings up the alcohol to my doctor. I wanted her to know all the... Well, this was one of the first times where after the diagnosis, she's like, do you drink a lot? And I said, oh, yeah, you might remember that not only do I just drink a lot in general, but it's sort of part of my job, and that adds to it. And she's like, how much? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, 6 to 10 drinks a day. And she's like, whoa. She's like, yeah, you need to probably at least cut that in half. Which I think is jumping the gun because...
Of course you do. Because you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if I continue... I needed to run the experiment as well. So I feel like I should continue my normal rate of drinking for the 6-week period while I'm taking the supplements. And if my B12 goes back up to normal, well, then let's not be hasty, right?
Right. Because B12 is the only marker that you have a failing that you have a failing system, right? Because of the alcohol.
It's the only one I have to worry about now.
And tingly feet.
So your liver enzymes are okay, like your liver's function.
She didn't test for those again, but you might remember that the last time I went in for testing, they were not. They were not good. But she didn't run that test again.
Okay.
Well, I didn't ask her.
And she also didn't remember from when she met with you a week ago that you told her you also drank 6 beers a day.
I don't think I told her a week ago. I think in whatever previous ones,
okay.
So.
What is the last time you had a physical? Like a real physical where you go in and they do the things and you walk on the treadmill and they're like, hey, fatty, exercise a little more?
Never had that.
Never.
Walking on the treadmill is not normal.
Never had that.
But you don't need that.
If you're getting a cardiac event.
They do other things to check you out. Like,
Like a full blood panel? I get a full blood panel every year.
I'm pretty sure that's what I just had.
Right, because you're dying.
Yeah, getting one every year is stressful. It's overkill, You wait until
it's going to overkill you.
He only has so much blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look,
you wait until there's a problem, and then you go deal with it. I mean,
feel
why
like
create problems?
Genetically, the cards are stacked against me in the area of health, so I try to be proactive.
Yeah.
Maybe you should look into that.
I don't know.
So honestly, the alcoholism potentiality there that doesn't make you just at least bring up a yellow light. Drinks, it doesn't make you go like, hey, maybe I do drink a little too much and I actually don't want liver failure at 45?
So I've never needed a doctor to tell me I drink too much.
Right.
I know it.
Yeah.
I just I'm fine with it. I'm fine with whatever is going to happen with that. Like I always say, I'm not going to make it all that long anyway. I'm not saying I'm dying like in the next year or whatever. But I'm not going to make it much past the 70 mark.
You could, but you don't want to. Is that what you're saying? You don't want to make it, or because
I don't want to worry about it, and it's highly unlikely. And so,
why is it highly unlikely?
Well, because I want to just live my life the way I want to live it. Okay. That's why it's highly unlikely. And if you look at my family tree, they're all they all kind of fall off the cliff pretty quick. Okay. Except on Carmel. Carmel just turned 102 last week.
Well, there you go.
Does she drink?
She doesn't drink or smoke or anything. But
she's still a virgin, actually.
You missed that.
Hey,
she's never cut her hair.
If y'all want to go live that kind of boring fucking life just so that you can live the last 20 years and not in pain, go for it. I don't. I'm ready to go in like screaming and kicking and fucking...
I don't think anybody in this room leads a boring life.
Yeah.
Most of us, anyway.
Speak for yourself.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you're dumb for not doing it. I just like to know the motivation behind it. That's all.
Yeah, I've never had a sense of denial about the drinking, or even in this case now the smoking. I know exactly but I'm fine with it. You
are kind of like celebrating the fact that you found the gas pedal for life, and you kind of just put a brick on it and fell asleep. Like you picked up smoking.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that
he needed a
sort of
hobby.
People stop smoking at your age. They don't pick it up.
The definition of midlife crisis.
Maybe I've thought of that, but I don't think so. I just think.
Well, if he's going to die by 70, he hit his midlife crisis 5 years ago.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm past that. I'm on the downhill. I'm on the downhill slope.
I'm past my midlife crisis.
This is actually making me really sad.
Oh, you shouldn't be sad. I'm fine with it.
Time to coast to the finish.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all uphill from here.
Look, if things really go bad, I'm going to pick up a gnarly drug habit too to like deal with those symptoms. You know, like when I hit the 65 mark or whatever, and shit starts going bad, I'm going to pick up a nasty heroin problem.
Well, because you know how many years that is from now?
It is a while, yeah. But I don't want to get on the heroin too early.
Okay, so you're planning on making it to 65?
I think, barring a massive heart attack, I don't think the rest of my organs are going to fail before then. But
how's your cholesterol, by the way?
I think it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because that was an area of concern. And you did the blood panel, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I'm back to normal on that stuff.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. When you die, can I have your heart?
I don't think you want it.
No, probably not.
So I say good news. A little vitamin B12. I'm going to keep. I'm not going to worry too much about the drinking right now.
Okay.
If at the point of the supplements aren't working,
right?
Then sure, I can cut back. That's fine. But if my B12 goes up and I can still enjoy all the beer I'm drinking in between, I feel like I've won.
Okay. Well, God bless, man. That's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, and replace it with a couple
Yeah.
pounds of charcuterie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the most important thing for me. I almost feel like I could give up beer easier than I could give up charcuterie. I mean, they're right. They're right there. But
why don't you, can we do a game? Because I would like to do bets on this. I want you to give up charcuterie for a month, and then give up beer for a month, and see which one you actually last, which one you actually stick to.
I don't like this game.
I know, but I do, and I think it'd be
You
hilarious.
should do a blood panel before and then afterwards.
It involves self-control.
Yeah, and like we could have like
too much effort.
We could do a pool. Like how many weeks will he actually make it the full 30 days?
Hours. Who would need to be hours?
Yeah.
Well, there was that time I tried to get him to drink a gallon of water a day or something, and that lasted 3 days.
But that's bad for you. That's not even good for you.
It's bad for you.
A gallon of water a day? That's way more than your body needs, and you're flushing out all the... I don't know. I read a lot of articles about it.
Yeah. I think for it to be bad for you, it could be like 3 gallons a day. Like you'd really have to be overdoing it. But anyhow, yeah, I didn't... I don't... No, I just lack self-control in these departments. You know, in the vice department, I have plenty of self-control in other departments.
Sure,
but
like what?
What other departments are there?
Well,
there are none.
I would venture to say that to build up the 2 companies that we have here that have given us careers and paid our bills and stuff requires an enormous amount of self-discipline.
That's true.
And
you're not drinking and driving.
And self-control. I don't drink and drive. I work in a bar, but I don't really drink here unless we're doing a show. I don't drink all day. I think there's Yeah, I think. But like I said, admittedly, I'm not making excuses here. Admittedly, in the vice department, when I'm ready to drink a beer, catch a buzz, smoke a cigarette, go to a strip club,
spoon heroin up your ass,
that's pretty much going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to do those things, and be a happier person for it.
All right,
I guess.
Just wash those B vitamins down with beer. That's all.
Oh, I've been doing it all week.
Maybe it's a sign you should homebrew more because you get all the yeast in there. You get your vitamin B12 that way, so you're drinking your own homebrew.
Are you trying to say there aren't plenty of cloudy beers on the market?
Or just drink New England style IPAs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Does flour have vitamin B12 in it?
I don't think so. So
that's good news, I think.
Yeah. I'll report back in 6 weeks. Okay. But in the meantime, I get to just keep on trucking.
God bless.
And I'm not gonna give anybody the HIV.
Right.
So that's fun. All right.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because there are undetectable amounts.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I made that up. I have no idea.
Okay. Great. You're like Kate now. Like, I've been having issues with my eye. Like, not issues, but like I need reading glasses now and shit.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, my friend was having trouble with sight, and she went and she had a tumor. She had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus,
I would have
Kate,
choked her out.
Fucking.
There's no way. Taryn does that shit too.
Maybe I have a tumor.
It's okay. When you
Maybe
said
it's
your
been a tumor
feet
this
were
whole
going,
time.
when you said your feet were going numb, I thought about your eyes going bad too, and I was like, maybe he has MS.
Oh, God.
Oh.
No, she didn't test for that.
I didn't voice it though.
Yeah.
Well, now you.
Oh, and then with the nerve damage in the feet, it is potentially reversible.
That's good.
Oh, good.
Oh,
that's
or
great.
the key word being potentially, because I also might be this way for life, but then hopefully the B12
worse.
will at least stop it. But I'm hoping for full reversal.
Yeah.
I tend to be pretty healthy, to be honest. Like, I do bounce back from these weird fucking things I get.
Right.
So as long as
Shit.
that's going to keep going for a while,
Yeah.
and then it will completely stop happening,
Okay.
and I will die of a cold.
For sure.
Across the street.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got a great show planned for you tonight. We've got Barley Forge Brewing Company out of Orange County, California, in the studio, as well as Kyle Sherman from the homebrew club, the OC Mashups. And we're going to learn about Barley Forge, and we're also going to learn about the OC Mashups Homebrew Club. And then I think what'll be a little more fun is we're going to learn how the local homebrew clubs down there in Orange County are working with their local breweries. And I think this would be great for our homebrewers in the audience and homebrew clubs in the audience to hear how they're doing different things like competitions and how they hold meetings at the brew house and collaborating on beers. And we've got a lot of unique beer to try, including some homebrew tonight. So that'll be fun. So we're going to learn all about that. You can always call us at 888-401-BEER if you want to participate in the conversation, or just hit the chat button. You go to community on the homepage, and there's a little chat there. You can get your questions over to Bevo. So join the show that way.
Do it.
All right, some quick announcements. The Spring Brews Fest is back this year. It's Saturday, April 1st, right here in Concord, California. You're going to see tickets on sale, potentially even this week. So Saturday, April 1st. Mark your calendar. We've got our San Francisco Beer Week events happening here at the Hop Grenade as well. Next week's session features Julian Schrago from Beechwood Brewing.
Yeah.
Great guy, great beer. And we're also going to have, I think, 9 or 10 different Beechwood beers on tap here at the Hop Grenade.
I might have to get a ride home
that night. Yeah, I think we're all getting rides home that night. It's going to be a fun night. So you can come down and participate because we'll have the beer on tap. And we've got several other things happening. Phantom Carriage will be here on Tuesday. Hen House will be releasing their double IPA. I think that's on Friday. So we really got a lot of stuff happening. You can go to the events page at thehopgrenade.com and come hang out with us here for SF Beer Week. Drake's Brewing Company has some cool events happening during SF Beer Week. I've noticed.
A ton of them.
Did you see the Sauenbrau event that they're doing?
Yeah, I've been down there a couple of times.
Oh, you've been to it before?
Yeah,
I've never been, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, they do whole pigs and stuff like that. It's great.
I love whole roasted pigs like that. Like, just the flavor is amazing.
It is really good.
So they're doing that, the Sauenbrau. You can go to drinkdrakes.com and see their entire list of events. I think they're doing like a brewer versus brewer. They got some cellar release going on. All kinds of good stuff. So go check them out at drinkdrakes.com. SF Beer Week. It's back upon us, Tasty. Mm-hmm. The marathon that is that.
It's all about missed events. It's not what you get to go to, it's what you miss.
You're going to go to the gala,
I am. I'm going to Open Gala.
Yeah.
And also going to the Double IP Festival the next day.
Down at the Bistro.
Yes.
Right? Okay. That's been going on for years.
It is.
That's an exciting
It's
event.
number 14, I think.
Really?
Or 15, whatever.
It's probably number 7 or 8 for you.
I've been to a few.
Yeah.
I was trying to go late, so I just have a few beers.
That's smart.
It's way outside my ABV.
Yeah. Any other events?
That's all I have planned. Well, the Celebrator I'll probably go to at the end. So.
Yeah, okay.
The middle I haven't even looked at. I'll probably be here Monday for the Beechwood event, of course.
Yeah.
But I might come back for the Phantom Carriage event.
They have good beer.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one. All right, so check it out. You can go to thehopgrenade.com and look for that, or you can go to SF Beer Week and look for all the events. All right, you can do your Amazon shopping right through our homepage. Just click the Amazon link. You can do that in the U.S. and the U.K. It's a great way to support us. Many of you do it, and I appreciate it very much. Subscribe and join the BN Army just by clicking the donate button. If you become a recurring donor of $2 or more, you're entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to More Beer. More Beer, the sponsor of this show, of course, and been with us for years, and they're good people. So, for as little as $2 a month, you get entered in that. Plus, then you get our newsletter. You get early ticket sales to different events, like it's going to be BNA 12 this year.
Wow.
Our 12th anniversary party in June.
Crazy.
Yeah,
we're almost teenagers.
Talking about amazing to make it so far. I should bet if I make it to BNA 13. Lucky number 13.
Oh, yeah.
Get to see boobies in movies.
That's right. Maybe that'll be our whole 13th party. We'll just play a bunch of PG-13 movies.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hang out and drink
really
beer. All right. Also, if you're already a recurring donor, please make sure that your address is current in PayPal, because that's how we notify you if you won the $100 to More Beer. All right, get updates and things and fun and laughs, lots of laughs over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search the Brewing Network over there. Yeah. Send feedback over to feedback at the Brewing Network. Send show ideas to Bevo, BEEVO, at thebrewingnetwork.com. All right, do we have a Twitter game today?
We do, Justin.
I thought we would. Twitter game is brought to you today by Great Fermentations. What a wonderful homebrew shop. You can go to greatfermentations.com. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the biz using Blickman products. Top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on many of the items. You can check them out at greatfermentations.com, and be sure to like them on Facebook. That would be GR8 Fermentation, and that's also Instagram and Twitter. Go to greatfermentations.com. All right, what's our Twitter game?
Well, as everybody in this room probably knows, there was a big sport event that happened yesterday, the Super Bowl.
Oh.
The New England Patriots came back and beat the Hotlanta Falcons. And nobody really knows how. It kind of just... I think the Falcons were so stunned by Lady Gaga's performance.
Which was something.
It was pretty stellar with all the drones in the background and shit like that. They're doing a lot of that drone tech at Disneyland now. It's kind of cool.
I read today that the drones were recorded previously.
I figured it might be an overlay.
Yeah,
interesting.
The drones were not live. Still cool. Yeah, I agree. It didn't make it less cool to me
because it did look like I was watching it with my uncle. Actually, was in town, and he's like, "I thought that looks fake." It looked like it's superimposed.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, they're fucking drones, bro. Don't even worry about it. I know these things. So I guess we were both right.
Yes, it was. They were recorded previously. I thought for a second that her standing on top of the stadium had been recorded previously, but I think that was all done live.
There's a bunch of memes now about using some images from her like standing on the thing, and one's like, "You'll never get to all the bombs in time, Batman." And she's like standing on the roof. Anyway,
it was a little weird. She's hotter than I remember.
She's fucking hot. Yeah.
I didn't remember her being that
She did
way.
a great job. She really rehearsed that really well, or she's really good at what she does.
And the dancing was,
one or the other.
Was good.
Nothing in between.
Just one or the other.
You name it.
It was good, and she like mic dropped. Actually, she threw the mic.
Saw that.
Right. It was like killed it, and so I think the Falcons were so just caught off guard.
She mic dropped and then self dropped.
Right? Yeah. I feel like she
Gaga dropped.
She threw herself to the floor.
She's like, I'm fucking out.
Which is way cooler than
what
a
about
mic
the
drop.
customary shot to see that she's okay? I'm kind of
No, you never
That's
saw
true.
that.
I kind of missed that.
What if that's the last time we see her?
I was going to say we haven't heard anything from her.
Either.
Like I've texted her a few times. I haven't seen anything.
She's not answering you?
No.
Oh.
So I'm a little worried.
She gone.
Yeah.
No.
She sacrificed herself. That'd be great. Just at the end, like this epic dance performance, pulls out a 22. Just boom.
See?
I'm done. I was it. That's
Why
my
not?
pinnacle.
Yeah. When you've
Kurt
reached a
Cobain did it. She can do it. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, he was miserable. I'm tired of miserable people killing themselves. Why can't happy people do it? I don't understand. I've never understood that. Why not be like, hey, you know what? Things have been good.
Well,
I'm going to get out of here before they get bad.
Yeah, right. John Belushi is pretty...
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty happy, I feel. Who's the other big fat tub of mess?
Do ODs
Chris
count,
Farley.
though? Those are like accidental offing yourself.
I guess.
I'm talking about full on like, hey, things have been awesome.
I don't think it happens.
Go out on top.
Pew.
Bang, bang. Anyway, so our game is, if you had to brew a beer that embodied last night's Super Bowl game, what ingredients would you use?
All right.
And we've gotten some the famous Gordon Strong has actually participated in this game tonight.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like that's always a success.
Yeah.
When a very tall man like Gordon Strong participates.
Celebrity participation.
That's right.
I like it.
Whatever it is, it'll be a flat beer.
Do we still send things to Twitter Game winners? We do. Every time? Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Each time? Huh.
Maybe.
All right.
There's no way to know.
All right. Should we do some feedback?
Let's do it.
Feedback is brought to you today by our good friend John over at the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. He protects our Hop Grenade trademark, as you all know very well. He works hard at that. In fact, he just negotiated another cease and desist for us.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be talking to you about the company who did that. They were with us. They were very cool. They responded well. I think that is... in part due to the way John approaches these things. He's not only a professional, but he really understands the beer business and not being an offensive lawyery asshole when approaching different companies. So he does a really good job for us, and we get great results for it. If you'd like to see the same, go to beerlawcenter.com. All right, in the feedback today, first one is to JP. Dear JP.
Yes.
I just listened to the Wild Card Brewing session and once again heard you complaining about New England IPAs.
All right, I believe it. I don't think you're lying.
He says this usually doesn't strike a nerve with me because opinions are like JP's, but this time you said the only reason they're on the radar is because there's nothing else to talk about in beer right now. If they were a thing when sours were hot, they would have been overlooked. Yet, they're a recurring topic on every, and I mean every, session. And he goes on to say, I guess that's the lack of content and laziness.
The odd thing is...
JP.
The only reason it's brought up is because you wrote in about it. So you're actually bringing it up. But anyway, go ahead.
But it does... I still don't think he's lying in this case. It gets brought up pretty much every session.
Probably.
So he goes on to say, if you've been a long-time listener of the Brewing Network, you can see that first it was IPAs that JP hated, and why you don't like them. They're too hoppy, they're too bitter, they're not balanced, he says.
That's not what I said.
Okay. What did you say?
I don't like them because of the alcohol. I have no problem with hops, no bitterness, unbalanced, balanced, whatever. I just don't like drinking 7% beer. I like to drink a lot of beer, but I don't necessarily like to get drunk. I want to drink more beer, so that's why I don't really care for them.
Fucking alcoholic.
Or the opposite.
Yeah.
So now he says, then the mad scientists in New England make a hop-forward beer that's more palatable to the masses, and you still complain. There are studies saying it's not improper brewing technique, although some idiots dump flour in their beer. It's just not what's been practiced in the past, he says. Learn to embrace the ever-changing beerscape. I think a step in the right direction, and this is a style that's here to stay.
All right.
There are studies.
There have been studies.
There are.
Right.
Where people have said.
By homebrewers.
You're right. This is not bad brewing.
Yeah.
He finishes the email by saying, I guess at the end of the day, this is just another way for JP to go against the grain and uphold his anti-mainstream identity. If New England IPAs succeed from the IPA genre and we put this matter to rest... Oh, can we put this matter to rest if it succeeds?
No.
So here's to hoping you cram another New England IPA rant to fill up the airways. Tasty's cool, Bevo's cool, Justin's on vacation, shut up Beardy, fuck you JP, I'm out, from Sean.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think if you've been listening to the show long enough, Sean, you know that the New England IPA could become the most popular beer on Earth, and JP would never stop complaining.
That's true.
So.
That's what I do.
I think I might be drinking one.
Right now?
Oh,
yeah.
She might be.
It looks like a fucking mimosa.
Yeah. You sure that isn't orange juice?
It's really... I'm ashamed to say it's really good.
Well, God bless you.
Many of them are.
Yeah.
I had a good one over the weekend. I went up to Moonraker Brewing Company. And, I do hate the look of it. I'm not going to lie about that. But if I close my eyes, it was a wonderful tasting beer.
See, and again, on one of my mini rants, I've, no pun intended, clarified my stance on New England IPAs is you can get that flavor profile without making it cloudy.
Yeah.
You can do it. There are breweries who have been doing it and continue to do it. So why do we make it cloudy? Why does it have to look like that? To me, that's a gimmick. You don't need it to be cloudy to have that flavor profile.
I agree. There's a lot of juicy beers that they're clear as can be.
Yeah.
So
it's all about where you put the hops.
Yeah, go suck your mom's dick, Sean.
All right. Ryan writes in. Here he starts with offensive salutation and Bevo and Kim. Thanks for all you do for the brewing community.
Kim got a shout out. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Thanks for all you do for the brewing community. I'm headed to Seattle in March. What breweries, beers, bars do I have to hit? We don't get a lot of West Coast beer here in Texas due to our labeling laws and such. Thanks for all the information and the dick jokes.
By the way, just to go back to Sean's email, how did Warren skip out on getting the fucking hate on that? Because you and I are pretty much right there.
I find it amazing
how much
bring
it up more than I do.
Yeah, but everyone blames you for it, and I'm okay with that.
I think you actually started this whole bullshit.
But everyone just wants me to shut up more than they want me to stop talking about this.
I think you have more of a grating personality to people. So
I do.
When they think back, that's just what they remember.
Where's the revolver?
What didn't I like? Oh, it was JP.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think I'm the happiest I'm ever going to be right now. Give me the gun.
Yeah. All they remember is Beardy shut the fuck upping and you.
I guess I'm a little more aggressive about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will dump any New England IPA you put in front of me on the floor. So
that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah. I don't know how you get more aggressive.
I'll save it and put it in your gas tank at night while you sleep.
Thank you.
No, that's just me.
All right, so he's asking for recommendations on breweries, beer, and bars. You know, I just kind of jogged my memory a little bit on this one, Ryan. These are all breweries, and they're actually in the Seattle area, not necessarily in Seattle, but I think you'll find their beer about. And if anybody else has something to throw in here. But Reuben's Brews.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do that.
They're in Ballard. I don't know exactly where that is in relation to Seattle. So
I think it's northern Seattle.
So
Warren and I went there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very close.
Yeah, and isn't Pike? Pike is actually in Seattle, downtown Seattle.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I was never the biggest fan of
they're just
Pike.
a regional brand.
And it's like what's the word I'm looking for? They're old school. Yeah, they're like one of the first. So yeah, but Reuben's Brews they were on the show a while back too.
They had stellar beer on the show, and then when we went back last year, stellar beers.
They've been winning a lot of awards too. And then I put Chuckanut Brewery on there. Now, they're way up in Bellingham, but I do believe they've started some sort of distribution now, or at least they were planning it.
Okay.
So
yes, that's great.
I guess I put them on a list hoping that you'll be able to get them in Seattle.
You can get their Pilsner in Seattle.
Okay.
We had it there when we were up there.
Yeah.
Which is just an amazing beer. So look for that. And then one of my old favorites, and has been for years, they're just outside of Washington and Redmond, is Black Raven Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
And they make all sorts of different types of beers, including sours and barrel-aged, but then also you're going to find some really nice clean beers from them, too. So those were my three.
I would add Lucky Envelope.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Barry over there. Where else did we go?
I don't remember. I know we went to about 2 other breweries on the last day. All I remember about the last day was the chocolate factory.
That's right. There's a chocolate factory next to Brouwer's Cafe, Belgian beer cafe.
Oh, of course. That's a beer bar you have to go to. In fact, that is one of my favorite beer bars in the country.
It's really good.
I took a lot of cues from them when we were designing the Hop Grenade. Brouwer's, you can't miss that.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me about that.
Very, very welcome.
That's a good one. All right, so there you go. That'll get you started, and pretty much you're not going to have a bad beer experience anywhere you go.
I think I'm going to be up there in March for that Pacific Northwest Home Brewers Conference.
Yeah, Tasty, I was looking at that the other day. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to set up a thing and have a booth there, and I got to talk to you about this too, JP, but...
Where?
I want to this Pacific Northwest Homebrewers Conference.
Oh, yeah.
It's March 17th and 18th. And
I'm free.
But I want to drive the RV, but I also got to go to Colorado for our Fort Collins Hop Grenade thing.
Oh, they canceled that whole build.
Oh, you mean FOCO?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we're all doing this.
They called. So, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you.
You might have us tagging along with you there, Tasty.
That's okay.
I got to figure that out.
That's no problem at all.
It looks so fun.
Sounds great.
So
I actually really want to go to that too. Am I allowed to?
Yeah,
Let's
for
go.
sure. The problem with taking the wagon, though,
I
is
prefer to fly.
that it leaks like a...
Let's fly.
Well, then, so you guys are paying your own way to go to the Pacific Northwest Homebrewers
Let's
Conference.
take the wagon.
Yeah,
I'll bring a raincoat. It'll be great.
Because between hotel and flights and you name it, you know how the BN's budget is. So, well, we'll talk about it this week and figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right.
Warren can't go.
No, I'll be turning 31, so I'll be very depressed that weekend.
That's fine.
You can borrow my gun.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let me get through these last couple things here. Somebody brewed the BN Collaboration Stout, I guess, that you guys talked about on the Christmas show.
On the Christmas show.
He says it's been kegged and carved, and fuck, it's good.
Nice. Good job.
Says he did change the recipe a little bit, up the gravity, and did half pale chocolate and half dark.
Okay, because I think we did keep it a kind of a lower gravity, right? Warren?
Low-ish.
Low-ish, but not like
sub
4.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, is that recipe available? Yeah, the recipe's available if you go to the website and look up a BN collab. Just put collab in there. It was the 12/20/2016 show, and you can get that recipe. But he said it's great. And then he goes on to say, on another note, I was listening to the Jester King interview, and it made me think of this. There's a website out there called FBOHotties.com. He says FBOs are places at airports where you go to get airplane gas. So I guess I'm assuming he means like small airports if you're, if you're a pilot. And they famously always have hot chicks working there. So there's a website about it. He says, in the interest of keeping up your misogynistic reputation, I think we need a Brewer Hotties website, he says. I don't think we're going to do that.
I don't think we're going to do that. But I am on FBOHotties.com, and there's pretty ladies that work in the world.
Just holding gas pumps or what?
Would you say they're hotties? They're at terminals, and they're behind desks. I mean, they're pretty... look, shocker, news alert. Out of the 7 billion people in the world, some are actually really pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some of them are on websites.
Right.
All right. Here's a long one, but it's kind of funny, so I got to do it. Mark from New Zealand wrote this in. I think you're going to like this, Tasty. Actually, I think you're going to hate it, but you're going to like it.
You're going to get a kick out of it. A kick in the balls.
My dearest brewcasters, I must write to tell you how glorious it is to feel the chemistry between JP and Justin again. They're both terrific hosts in their own rights, but the unicorn and the rainbow combined is a special kind of magic, he says.
Which is which?
I would agree with that.
I think I'm the rainbow.
No, I'm the rainbow. You're unicorn.
I'm unicorn. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Duh.
So he says, so much so that I had an amazing accident while listening to the show. Here goes. I returned home from work because I returned home from a work barbecue with 9 pints under my belt and a gut full of meaty goodness. I leered at the wifey with my usual charm that comes from having a skinful of booze. A skinful, I like that. And realized I needed to sober up if I wanted to get some action. So I took my pitcher and my pint glass into the shower with me to wake up. And he says,
pitcher and pint glass.
Yes, he does say, I am aware that this defeats the purpose.
Okay.
He says, I put on the show while in there to catch up and caught the phenomenal tale of the toe troubles, which I guess was my health issues last
Your dead
week,
feet.
I'm assuming. Well, here we go.
Dead feet scroll.
He says, I laughed so hard that my drunk ass fell down in the shower and proceeded to poop out the barbecue from laughing so hard.
Well, if you are going to shit yourself.
He says, not a huge eruption, but still enough to make me laugh even more.
Did more
Which
come out?
then resulted in more gas, but thankfully no more butt nuggets, he says.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
You shouldn't have laughed.
So he says, well, my laughing, crashing, and further laughing alerted wifey, and she started to come into the bathroom to see if I needed another trip to the hospital. Mad panic ensued as I scurried to save my dignity by waffle stomping the evidence down the drain.
I was going to say, man.
Oh, God. Dignity kind of saved, except for her commenting on the whole room smelling like fecal matter. So he actually thanks us again for the magic that we bring and the carnage by proxy that we create. And please get Doc to wake up. He's become the new Tasty with his falling asleep and going silent during shows. I miss that mad little fucker. Yours in stupidity, Mark from New Zealand.
Mark.
Wow.
Well, Mark, thank you for one of the best emails we've gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
And
we're not going to pay your plumber.
And for that visual.
Oh, man.
Waffle stomping the evidence.
Yeah.
What if the next time the shower just clogged and it was filling up with water? Brown
Can you
would be
plunge a
sewage.
shower?
Yeah, brown water.
You can plunge your shower.
JP knows.
Yeah. It doesn't work very well, but it's
can
possible.
be done.
Yeah.
All right, let's get ourselves to a break. We've got a lot to do today. So when we come back from this break, we've got Barley Forge Brewing Company on the program, as well as Kyle from the Orange County Mashups. We're talking homebrew. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
The Vault, created by White Labs. The Vault is a collection of new, creative, and unique yeast strains from around the world. These strains have never been available to homebrewers. Most have not even been available to professionals. You have the power to release the yeast. Through The Vault, White Labs is giving you the power to decide which strains are put into production and giving you the opportunity to brew with these strains. Visit whitelabs.com/thevault and pre-order the yeast strain of your choice and encourage your friends to do the same. Once 250 pre-orders have been achieved, White Labs will put that strain into production. The strain will be mailed directly to your doorstep, ready to make the beer you've always wanted to brew. This program was created with the homebrewer in mind. White Labs is relying on you to help release these strains, which may blaze the way for future new and unique beers. Help release the yeast. Visit whitelabs.com/thevault.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff, Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers. It's freaking awesome. Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
Hello, this is David Walker from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company. You are listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Before we move forward, I got to remind you about White Labs and, of course, their new Yeast Vault project. If you haven't visited the White Labs Yeast Vault yet, it's a collection of yeast strains that White Labs been curating for more than 20 years, and some of the strains have never been available until now. You can go to whitelabs.com/the vault to check out the current list and pre-order the strain that you want released. And there's a whole bunch there. Once there are 250 pre-orders, the strain goes into production and yeast shows up at your door. So help release the yeast over at whitelabs.com/the vault. All right, we are here today with Barley Forge Brewing Company. We've got operations manager Sean O'Shea in the studio with us.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, welcome, Sean. It's good to have you, man. And then we've also got some of the crew from the Orange County Mashups in the studio. We've got Kyle and Scott on the mic, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's us.
Both homebrewers with the OC Mashups.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, and Scott's actually even more than that. Scott actually runs a homebrew shop that's right outside of OC Mashups called Windsor Homebrew Supply.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to have to do with you guys. You're going to use the mic one at a time. So move it to your face. Whoever's going to, and when it's not you, move it to the other face, like all the way to the other face.
Like this.
Otherwise, people are going to see, here's the problem. I get all the shit for it. For the next month, people will complain, I didn't get to hear Kevin or Kyle. Well, there was no Kevin.
Bob.
I didn't get to hear anybody.
I'll forward those emails to them. How about that?
Yeah. Why don't you fix the audio in the studio? So just, yeah.
I used to be an audio engineer in the 40s, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
I'll fix your tubes.
It took years before I finally got an email from somebody who acknowledged that, and this is me letting you off the hook, too, like I've always done. Finally acknowledged, you know what? I realized that the guests that you have, they're brewers. They're not broadcasters. They don't know how to come in and always be a... And I'm like, no shit, you asshole.
How many episodes did that take?
It took 8 years before I finally got that email. And I just was like, thank you. And... You know?
In this case, we're bigger idiots because we're homebrewers. We don't have any
Not
professional.
even professional, nothing.
The worst kind of idiots.
Anyway, I was so relieved that day.
Yeah.
I was like, one person in the audience understands. Anyhow. All right. So we're going to do two things today. We're going to talk about Barley Forge Brewing beers, and we've got some in front of us right now.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about how homebrew clubs collaborate with breweries like Barley Forge. Sean, you're also a member of the OC Mashups.
Yeah, I am the president and also the founder of OC Mashups.
How long has OC Mashups been around then?
Since November of 2014 was when we had our first meeting at Barley Forge. it was kind of funny because found out that a brewery, Barley Forge, was opening up right down the street from me, about 2 miles away. And, of course, I was like a little schoolboy, super excited about that. And I would harass Greg Nyland, the owner, about, getting a job there as assistant brewer. I was currently working in automotive marketing and just needed an out, been homebrewing for a few years. And I would email him like once a week about getting a job there. No response. But as soon as I came up with the idea of starting a homebrew club, I asked Greg if it was a possibility of us having our meetings there. Within 10 minutes of sending that email, I got it back. Absolutely great. Let's do it. Greg was homebrewing for about 20 years prior to starting Barley Forge. So, he's decorated part of the Maltos Falcons and the Pacific Gravity as well, I think, the other club. So he was really excited. So, there's a few of us that, had similar interests in brewing, and I thought it would be a great thing to do. And, started the club, had our first meeting November 2014 at Barley Forge, and that was right around the time that Scott opened up his homebrew shop. So Barley Forge actually opened their doors, had their grand opening October 25th of 2014. So we're talking like a month after they opened their doors. We started the club.
Okay.
And we've all kind of been around the same amount of time. So, and then shortly after starting the club, I saw a job posting, I think on Craigslist, about sales assistant, and got hired on as that. And then
how many more emails did you have to send to?
Just a couple. At this point, I had a really good rapport with the owners, with Greg and his wife, Marianne, running the club, having some our meetings there, knew that I was actually capable of doing things, starting the club and, following through. So, and then I somehow just got into the position of operations manager. It's kind of like multiple hats and, just
pretty much doing everything that needs, that isn't being done or that needs fixing, or
it's like a glorified janitor. Pretty much,
Which, by the way, is the same as being an owner. So without the stress. So good luck.
Yeah. No, it's been super fun. And, we created this really cool trifecta on Randolph Ave, which is where Barley Forge is and Windsor Homebrew Supply. So we're kind of in it's called the Sobecca area of Costa Mesa, south on Bristol, I don't know, something arts.
Gentrified.
Yes,
it's fully gentrified.
And so there's
you guys are fully gentrified.
Right. No parking.
You've kicked out all culture whatsoever. It's zero culture.
Everything is spray painted tan. Everything is uniform.
Well, and I was going to say to Sean, you're much less hipstery than I expected you to be, and here's why. Let me just say why. Because I'm reading through your. We always send out a questionnaire, and Sean writes back his first sentence in what is his daily role goes like this, JP.
Yeah.
I usually ride into the brewery and start my day with a glass of cold brew coffee. And I read that and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
While I'm waxing my mustache.
But it is a fixed gear bike, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's where I stopped reading the email.
A beach cruiser?
And then he's like, pictures of my fixed gear bike are attached to this email. No, he didn't go that far. So I'm pleasantly relieved that you're not actually that douchey. You just look like it on paper.
I would have a mustache, but I can't grow one. So.
Okay, yeah. It was blotchy, which is not hipstery at all.
No. Although soon it will be.
All right, so you got a cool little beer community down there with the homebrew shop and the brewery right there. And now the homebrew club is having their meetings there.
Yes.
Was there ever a legality issue with that from the brewery? I remember that there was a time that there was now it's fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's fine.
What was illegal about it, Tasty? Do you remember? Was just having
beer? Violation of license.
Outside beer.
They can only serve beer in a license has an invoice for.
Okay.
Well, the owner is also a lawyer, and he dug into this. And basically, in order for us to pour home brew, in the brewery, some of us had to be LEED certified, which is from the state. So it's basically this safety course that you go to.
Alcohol server.
Yeah,
okay.
All of our front of house servers are LEED certified, so I went and got that done. So I was able to pour, which was a pain in the ass to pour beer at each of our meetings.
So you
for everybody.
you could pour.
Oh, right.
No, there was a couple other guys who were LEED certified as well. But
I've never heard of this. This is it in the ABC code, is it?
I don't. I don't think
about
so. It's you pay like $30. You go sit in this 3-hour class put on by the state.
Southern California Homebrewers Festival requires that at least one person in the club have that.
Yeah, there was.
In fact, everybody that pours, but that's under the festival format, where the festival charity is the homebrew club.
Yeah.
Otherwise, homebrewers are allowed now to take their homebrew out of the home to share for tasting purposes. That's what you're doing. When you take it to Valley Forge and it's under their license. It's legal now.
But the way the law is written, at least I thought, is that it has to be somewhat formal and organized and kind of sectioned off with it. You can't just walk into a bar, sit at the bar, and crack open your homebrew.
So it can't be open to the public. So it's a private thing. As long as it's just homebrewers in a separate space, it's fine.
Like a homebrew club at a bar.
Yeah, so we meet in the back of the bar, and we would make sure, like, before the law passed, that everyone who was pouring was LEED certified and worked with Barley Forge in some way to assure to have that assurance on their staff, basically. So they always knew what was going on. Greg's a lawyer, so he's looked into the laws like extensively before then. But now, thanks to that law, we can have anyone pour, and it makes our meetings run a lot more smoothly.
It works out so much better because now whoever is bringing the beer can pour and walk around and talk about it, rather than just having whoever's LEED certified out there pouring and then having the brewer talk about it afterwards. So yeah, it works out pretty good. And, Kyle's, I am the founder, but Kyle's actually been doing a lot of, diligence and helping this club grow and get bigger. We are now part of the Orange County Brewers Guild, which is great. We actually just partnered up with Bootleggers Brewery in Fullerton, and the winner of that the competition. We did bring his beer. Gabe, he's actually the VP of the club, gets to brew that beer on Bootlegger's pilot system.
Oh, nice.
And Danny.
And Danny. I'm sorry, yeah. And Danny Kemp and Gabriel Adler.
That sounds fixed to me.
Is that
the VP?
You wouldn't believe how bad it sounds sometimes. It's all BJCP sanctioned competition where we have no role with the actual competition, but it was one of these competitions. It was like,
yeah, but you got first place, really. So,
wait a second.
So
I'm sounding a little fucked up.
I'm the only member. Okay?
Renee Rodarte and myself brewed this beer. It scored the highest, but it was too weird for bootleggers to brew. It's just like they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna brew this. This has got tamarind and cardamom and star anise in there. We're just going to brew the pecan brown. That sounds a lot better.
Okay. All right.
They reserve the right.
They do. Yeah. And we said that from the start, so it's up to the brewer.
I can't blame them. As a brewer, you're trying to make money.
Yeah.
How are you? Right. Even though that beer sounds good, and we have it, and hopefully we'll get to try it tonight.
Yeah.
I would be a little gun shy too. Like, what the fuck did we just do? Right?
They have to sell it.
Yeah. We met with the brewer, Robert of Bootleggers, prior to releasing the style guidelines for this competition, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we like weird stuff. That's cool. Yeah, you could pretty much do whatever you want as long as it's not like a wild or sour beer." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
We could get your shit up.
We could get really weird.
I love that. He'll never say that again to anybody.
Next year it's amended. Okay, defined ingredients. You can't go.
Yeah.
Right.
What I meant was fucking barley, yeast, water, and hops.
Yeah. Bootleggers do make a chili beer that's very good.
It's like, how many adjuncts do we put in here? It's pretty much
too many.
Yeah.
How many club members in the mashups now?
We've got two versions of the club. There's the
slackers and the
well,
doers.
actually, Gabe, our VP, came up with this. There's a paid membership which gives everybody access to the competitions and outside events from the meetings, from the monthly meetings. That's called the Grist membership.
Okay,
and then all the freeloaders, those are called the adjuncts.
Okay,
but we still invite everybody to come to our meetings once a month. But we put on a variety of other extracurricular beer events every quarter, which Kyle can talk a little bit more about those too.
Wait, and so why don't the freeloaders pay any? What do they get that the payers get? Or what do they not get, I guess?
Well,
I
the whole idea is to, have everybody become a Grist member.
Okay.
So we want to invite everybody to come into these open club meetings once a month at Barley Forge. But in order to, enter the competitions, come to our events, pretty much we do 4 events every quarter. At least that's what we're shooting for. So that's what the paid members get.
I see.
Yeah.
And then adjunct members are just guys waiting to decide whether they want to become Grist members.
That's
trying out the club.
It's an introductory offer, basically.
I like this
that makes
model.
sense.
That's why
That
I wanted you to clarify it. I think it sounds like a really good model.
A lot of clubs say, if you've been here a few months, it's probably time you need to pay dues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, we like to, if they pay dues right away, obviously, but we've had some members who've been adjunct for a long time because they're just not interested in doing other things, and we're okay with that because we've got enough seating for them. Everything's great. They can come once a month, bring their beer, and share it. So basically, our tasting meetings are what's up to anyone. Then basically, we do 4 competitions a year, 4 private events a year, where it's we've done a camp for Camp Nyland, which is the owner's campsite in Jericho.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree, thank you.
Nice.
We did this awesome closing party at Noble Brewery Thoreau and Bottle Logic, where they rolled out the red carpet for us to make sure that we had a really exclusive event. And then we also do 4 club brews on the Barley Forge system every year.
The pilot system. It's a 20-gallon more beer horizontal, Herm system.
Okay.
So it was Greg Nyland's homebrew setup when he lived in Topanga, and now it's at Barley Forge, hooked up with a natural gas line. It's really nice to have that. So, I brew the pilot batches at Barley Forge on that, and also we do our club brews on that system as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's a sweet setup.
Yeah.
And I was reading through your notes about all the different kinds of beers that you do on that system for the tasting room.
Oh, yeah. It's
you do some gnarly shit.
I like doing some weird stuff. We just started doing what we call the crew brews, which is we take, members of the Barley Forge staff and we collaborate on what style of beer they want to do. We started doing that. We're about 4 or 5 of those deep, and we're going to kind of work our way through the staff. But actually, on Friday, Greg Nolan and myself brewed a smoked Irish red ale, which, using the cherrywood smoked malt. So it's, we get all of our ingredients over at Windsor Homebrew Supply. We don't use any of our, brewery ingredients. So we keep it strictly, homebrew style. But the benefit is being able to put it on tap in the tasting room in the Keezer. We've got a Keezer set up next to the bar with the corny kegs and everything. So
sounds like a tasty beer, actually.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's based off of Jamil's Irish Red recipe, which is always a great place to start for any beer.
Yeah.
Start with the Irish Red, make it anything else.
End up with a Dortmunder.
It's actually the basis for all of our beers at Barley Forge.
Yeah, it all depends on, what the finished beer is, not really what you set out to brew.
Okay,
so,
that's... And I would imagine that your pilot batches are pretty popular at the tasting room because of the way you're allowed to experiment. And just reading through some of the descriptions, they're all stuff that I would want to try on the board, too. So
you can't get your hands on them.
Really?
If you come in 2 days later, they're gone.
Well, at 20 gallons at a time, right?
Yeah,
so,
4 cornies and just rip through it. So.
I've been telling them that they need to step up their pilot batches.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's labor intensive, too, isn't it?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, it's a 5-hour brew day.
And how many times are you doing that a month, do you think?
Once a month. Trying to fit that into the schedule is tough because of the all the other stuff that's going on at the brewery, distribution and inventory management and all that stuff. So it is nice to be able to do that once a month.
And when you do these collaborations with the club, the members are allowed to come in and actually brew with you, or do you just kind of design the recipe together?
Well, usually I'll put together a recipe, but the Grist members do come in. They can help. But I find it's tough for me to let go, so I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna the next brew that we're doing, it's gonna be a lambic kind of experiment. So I'm gonna step away from that and just kind of be there to show them how to use the system if they need it. But
last couple of brews, Sean's finally started training me on that system.
Okay.
Rather than him kind of holding the gun the whole time.
Sure. Well, you're going to serve it in your tap room, so I understand this feeling. You got to make sure it's done right.
Well, the club brews are actually a little different. We'll just bring in carboys, and we'll bring those home and ferment those at home. But anything that is fermented at Barley Forge, we can sell there. If we take it home and ferment it, we can't put it on tap at Barley Forge.
So they can fuck that up.
They can. Exactly. I'm like, you guys want to do lambic? Sure, go ahead.
You just worry we're going to blow up the equipment.
Yeah.
Or the brewery.
I could see that.
With an owner that's a lawyer and all the liabilities of having homebrewers actually working in a brewery, is there a big, giant 7-page release form everyone has to sign?
Not on the brewery side, but I think we're going to start as a club having waivers that we sign. Whoever's there, closed-toed shoes, all that stuff. But we want to have the club not be liable for anything as well. But it's just safety protocol. Typically wear pants, closed-toed shoes, pants, not shorts.
I'm out. It sounds like a miserable day.
You're not wearing pants right now.
Clarify that, but it's still a gray area. Maybe closed-toed shoes for sure. Maybe pants. I don't know. Whatever you want. That's fine.
Flip-flops and my fucking bikini underwear.
Your bikini top.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing up to brew in. Yeah, that's right. Picture that.
I am.
I can't get it out of my mind right now.
I will show it around.
It's a t-shirt only party.
Yeah.
Pants are optional.
Right.
Well, let's do a little segue quickly into the beer that's in our glass, because we've got your Dortmunder from Barley Forge. Mm-hmm. We're all big fans of this style of beer in this room, and this is a great example of it. And it's nice to have a clear beer in my glass.
You always got to cry.
I didn't. I was just...
Maybe we should just say there's no B12 in this glass.
Fuck.
That's how we should refer to it.
All right.
There you go.
Well, then I have to switch back.
Yeah.
So tell us about the beer.
So this is a Dortmunder export lager, which is kind of like a recently revived, almost extinct style. I know you guys had Old Republic on once before. They had their Dead Canary, which was a great name, by the way, also. This is from the Dortmund region of Germany, where mining was a big way of life there. And this is what the miners would drink after a long day of working in there. And this is called Grandpa Tractor, 5%, Pilsner, Bow Pils, Northern Brewer, and a Swiss Lager strain, which ferments pretty quickly. This is our lowest year-round ABV beer.
Okay,
5%.
So from that perspective, from the ABV and the mouthfeel, it's a wonderful beer all around. It's a lot closer to a Dortmund from Dortmund than I've had in a long time. I was just there recently, and it has that profile. It's really well done. It's a little less on like the German malt side coming through, but I think that's how you got it to be so light in alcohol and everything else. You know what I mean?
Tell me about the water in the beers. It seems like this. Did you use softer water? Or?
Our head brewer, Kevin Buckley, does some salt additions. We've got a really cool filter that does a little bit more than carbon filtering. Not quite RO, but he'll add some salts back into it. I don't know the exact water profile that he uses on it, but it is fairly soft.
But the water without salts would be fairly soft?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
What is it traditionally, Tasty? Is it hard water or soft water?
Dortmunder beer is going to kind of be kind of minerally, actually. But you'd add something into that area that make it kind of give that character.
I see.
I like the water balance in this beer. It's really good.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting is, water in Costa Mesa, since we're in the South California region, everything comes from an aquifer. So water is absolutely terrible.
Got it.
So carbon filtering and doing more than that is like essential to any processed beer that you're going to pull out, because our water's full of chloramines and anything you could think of.
Got it.
You mean our water?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we cut you off.
You're welcome.
I thought we cut you off a long time ago.
I don't know what
That's
that
all
means.
you have left is the aquifer.
So an aquifer is basically an underground lake.
Yeah.
So whenever they extract it, it runs through all the rocks and the minerals and everything that's
Don't look at me.
there.
Look at JP. He's the idiot. I know what a goddamn aquifer is.
I'm used to talking to JP without looking at him, so it's awkward now.
What is it?
It's an underground lake. Okay. Well, that's a very nice beer. And
It's delicious,
JP,
right?
one that you could drink several of with the low alcohol and the other things. I don't know.
And the other
And the
other
aquifer
deals.
water.
I like it. It's low, but there's that crisp hotness to it.
Mm-hmm.
The hot bitterness is right there, and just it's super refreshing. It's
And
a
I
great
think
beer.
tasty, that mineral flavor is what I was looking for. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to pinpoint.
Yeah, they've got the chlorides up pretty high in this. It's really nice.
Oh, you were looking at it already?
Yeah, they
then?
showed me the water profile.
I've got the water profile from our filter, so you may make some adjustments on top of that, but this is what's coming out of the filter right here.
Okay.
That's crazy.
And what's the other beer that we got poured in the glass?
The Patsy. This is a coconut rye stout. It's our number one selling beer. It's kind of unique.
A coconut rye stout in Southern California
You know
is your
what's-
number one selling beer.
Yep.
I don't believe it. I think you're a liar.
You know what's cool about this is every brewery used to come in here with the same style of number one selling beer. And in the last year or two during our interviews, it seems to always be a different style of a brewery. So I'm just saying, like,
It's no longer
our
IPA.
tastes are finally broadening enough that this is your number one selling beer.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's
our tastes.
Yes.
It's got a lot of
welcome to the
unsweetened
club.
coconut and some toasted coconut flavor in there that goes into the bright tank. So, I mean, this is like offensively coconutty.
There's a lot of coconut.
And we've had some coconut
But-
beers on the show over the years, but this is the best, the most rounded aromatics
Oh,
that
yeah.
I've tasted or that I've smelled in a coconut beer before. It's the full coconut. You know, it's not just I can tell you've had some coconut. No, there's layers of coconut flavor.
Well, I wonder if that's because you
Aroma.
use half. You said uncooked and then half roasted.
Well, it's a little bit of toasted coconut extract, just a little bit, but it's mostly like 100 pounds of unsweetened shredded coconut that goes into the bright. So a little bit of toasted coconut just to give it that just that little bit of more roundness to it. But the rye that is used in there and the chocolate rye is actually helps big. It adds like a unique dryness and almost like a spiciness to it, which is pretty unique for the style as well.
Yeah.
The toasted coconut definitely helps keep the coconut from being one-dimensional. It helps it blend right in with the rest of the beer.
And then between this and also having a version of this on nitro in the tasting room, it's just it's ridiculous.
That'd be
on
good.
nitro. Yeah, it's like you can have it for lunch. You can have it for a dessert. Yeah.
What do you know? What percentage of the grist is rye?
It's
roughly?
not a huge amount because it's chocolate rye. I would say roughly 12 to 15%, maybe something like that.
And all of that is chocolate rye?
Yeah.
Who makes chocolate rye?
A couple different
Joe.
Yeah,
a couple different maltsters.
It's pretty common, Beardy.
I mean, there are a few options.
Okay.
Everybody doesn't have one. But
I think when Kevin was first developing the recipe, it was like, chocolate malt and then just rye. And then I think he switched over to chocolate rye. It's, and then we went with whatever was just the easiest to get because, I mean, the finished product is the same pretty much, as long as it has that rye character to it. But this is good. This is 6.6%. So it's, not a heavy beer and not like a session beer. So, it's kind of right in the middle. Yeah.
Right where I like it. Mm-hmm. I like mine in the 6 range, JP.
The 6 range?
Yeah.
I love the 6 range.
And still drink several. That's where I like to keep it.
Well, you're genetically, in some respects, you're better than I am.
Which respects? Let's list them.
Enzymatic respects.
Wait, wasn't he talking about his feet last week?
Yeah, not your
How they're
feet.
dying?
Not in that respect.
But that's okay. Yes, my body crushes B12 like a motherfucker. But if alcohol-wise, enzymatic, liver-wise, liver function and cholesterol,
heart, dick.
Thyroid-wise,
dick jokes.
Thyroid. Okay, Warren, let's stop.
Okay, you don't want the list to keep going.
No, I was feeling pretty good, and now. No,
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, JP.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Right. Well, let's do this. I got to get us to
I love
a break.
this beer, man.
And then, they were both really good. So great. I'm gonna have to Uber home again because
Uber everywhere.
You guys brought a shitload of beer for us to taste, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got some club beers too. So
I left it on the roof of the house all weekend. So,
Bevo, do I have to take a phone call or something?
Yeah, I was sending you a message about it right now, but I can just tell you we have Hector on line 1 from Laguna Hills, and he has a question for the OCC Mashups on how to become a member.
First of all, it's 1C. You stuttering.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Hector, you're on the line with the OC Mashups. What's happening?
Hello, this is Hector from Laguna Hill.
All right,
Hello?
Hector. Hello. Yeah, you're on the air. What can we do to help you?
Hi. I'm trying to talk to Carl from OC Matchbox.
I love OC Matchbox 20.
Yeah.
Is this the OC Matchbox? Yeah. So I make a vanilla cinnamon smoked porter. I want to bring to club meeting. I bring?
Is he Russian or Mexican? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's definitely Russian or Mexican.
So I'm here in the parking lot at the Barley Forge in Costa Mesa.
I'm knocking at the door. Uh-huh.
And I have vanilla cinnamon smoked porter, and I want to share with the club this week, if that's okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to leave Hector here to listen to the answer. Look, sometimes these calls are real. People are fucking weird.
Who knows?
If this is a real phone call and he wants to bring a beer to the club, when is the next club meeting?
So our next club meeting is Monday, February 13th, I believe. We have our club meetings once a month. They're the first Monday of every month, generally. We delayed this month's meeting because we're here.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that we could be at the next meeting. So our next meeting's Monday, February 13th, 7 p.m. at Barley Forge. Just come in and tell the bartender you're there for the club meeting, and you can join us.
And bring your vanilla...
Vanilla.
Vagina.
Horchata.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Hector.
Hector.
All right, there you go.
Hector.
Okay, let me do this real quick. I'm going to get us to a break. Remind you before we go about Williams Brewing Company, who's been a sponsor of ours for years. Since 1979, Williams has been offering the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best in customer service. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil.
Ooh.
It's a 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit, so it just takes a regular plug. The compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. That's pretty cool, actually.
It is good.
Double wall construction adds efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature mash is easy to do. All for under $300, JP.
I like things under $300. Anything over $300,
should be a hooker.
I crap in the shower.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also feature the Mark II work pump, which is a magnetic drive, high temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com, and you'll find all sorts of things.
Love those guys. They got a lot of stuff, man.
They do.
Yeah.
And so do we. When we come back, we're going to taste some more beer with Barley Forge and the OC Mashups. You can call us at 888-401-BEER or join the chat. We'll be right back. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com. Do you know the three most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San,
fans, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com. Also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Hey, this is Gabriel from Half Acre in Chicago. You're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the show. We spent the break trying to figure out if Hector was a real phone call or not. And I was like, I'm telling you, man, you never know around here.
You don't.
Get some weird calls.
Those Mexican Russians are everywhere.
Right. They're all over the OC.
Yeah. Mostly Mexico.
Gentrification didn't hit them.
No. For now. We'll see.
Okay, right. That's true.
Yeah. Hector's going to be at every single meeting now.
I run for president, yes? Comrade, brother.
All right. Hey, don't forget about the American Homebrewers Association. Go sign up for your membership now and use the new Brew Guru app, too. It'll help you find all the member deals. Member deals, discounts at local pubs and breweries and homebrew shops. Pretty much pay for your membership costs. Plus, you get Zymergy magazine and you name it. So, click the AHA link on our homepage. That's the best way to become a member. You support us and support the AHA and give yourself the best benefit, which is being a member of the American Homebrewers Association.
2 great organizations that want your money.
Yeah,
I literally just renewed my AHA through the BN website.
Attaboy,
Oh,
Beardy.
fuck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Who's
totally
the asshole
renewed.
now?
I didn't do it through the
Oh, you didn't do it.
Fuck yeah.
That's all right, because you would have come and asked me for the goddamn commission back anyway. You'd
Probably
been
there's commission I get?
No,
Warren,
no. Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
I got a 2-year commission coming.
So
4 cents.
You didn't do a lifetime membership, huh?
It's $700.
Yeah, I ain't got that much money.
How many times over are you going to pay that, though?
I did the math. I'll have to be continuing to do a membership when I'm 60.
I see.
I'll be surprised if I make it there.
Oh.
Or if I could read by then.
Look at you. He's like,
Well,
he's
I might make
one-upping
it.
you.
I might
you don't
make
think he'll make it till 70. He's younger than you. 60.
Yeah.
I might not be able to see by then.
Beardy and I have been hanging out together, so I think that's
True.
part of the problem.
That's
He's
true.
feeling like he's going down my path.
Yeah.
We're Thelma and Louising this shit.
Yes.
Sure. You're Tom and Lewising it. That's what you're doing.
We take drug panels together now.
Right.
See, I beat you again.
Oh, man. My white still counts way lower than yours.
All right, we're still
Loser.
here with Barley Forge and the OC Mashups, and we're about to drink a homebrew. Are you ready for JP?
Dear God.
Can you handle this?
I don't know. I don't know if I can.
I don't
Are
know
you
if you
sitting
guys
down?
knew this. JP's opening a brewery called I Hate Homebrew.
.com.
Yeah.
It's .com is in the name.
The brewery's name is
So the
.com?
website is IHateHomebrew.com. .com.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Thank you.
Is it DOT?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And this was the beer you were talking about that won the competition. Is going to be brewed where?
At Bootleggers Brewery in Fullerton.
And in this competition was all OC Mashups club members.
Yeah, so what we did for this competition is we did a partner brew competition. So basically, we had our novice members brew with our veteran members, and
Smart.
we kind of teamed them up. And so teams of two went and competed, and the winner got to brew on Bootlegger system. We try and do all of our competitions with a brewery.
Yeah.
So our next one's actually going to be with Barley Forge, and whoever wins that's going to enter the Pro-Am.
GABF Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then after that, we're going to do it with Stereo, which is a brand new brewery up in
Anaheim,
right? Yeah. Placentia? Okay.
Okay.
It's the same city.
Sorry, Stereo.
The worst city name ever.
Placenta?
Yeah.
So hard to say it correctly without
Placentia.
the Freudian slip.
Because it feeds you all the things you need to survive
The city.
for 9 months, and then you realize it fucking sucks, and you move to somewhere else.
Fullerton.
To Irvine.
But we work constantly with the breweries in the Orange County Brewers Guild to try and figure out who we're going to team up with next.
Okay.
So,
And you do that team up so that there's a prize like that where you get to go and then have a professional brewing experience.
yeah, and we think it's good for the breweries too because we'll do an event at the brewery and like try and get all our membership there.
Yeah.
To make sure that everyone's drinking the beer and stuff like that.
Have you found any breweries that are, and I'm asking this question for other clubs who might want to go try to do this across the country, have you found any resistance from breweries like, oh, we're not going to fuck around with that, like we don't need homebrewers in here?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they just, what is their reason? Just that we don't have time?
Yeah, I mean, it's an extra level that they have to do, you know, and they consider us to be patrons. And, you know, a lot of pro brewers I know think that, you know, home brewers are just like annoying gnats at the side that are just trying to yip at your heels and try and find out information. And that's not our goal. You know, our goal is to bring benefit to the breweries as much as we're getting from them.
Okay.
And we're trying to collaborate on this.
Where do you feel that benefit lies? Is that in the beer itself?
For us or for...
What are you bringing to the table?
So if you were to be... You're speaking to a lot of breweries across the country right now. I mean, at least two of them listen to the program.
One is Barley Forge.
Wow.
You may have heard of it.
And then, what, Jamil? Maybe?
Yeah,
Well, he doesn't listen, though.
No, he doesn't. And he probably won't let us in the brewery either.
Oh, you're homebrewers?
But in all seriousness, what do you think homebrewers in this type of collaboration offer?
Well, so, you know, we work with weird-ass shit all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just making another Czech pills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Robert and Bootleggers is a case-in-point example. They want something new to bring in their lineup that they haven't done before that's different. And we had a guy who brewed a pecan brown, and that's something that they found achievable and at the same time weird enough to add something to their lineup.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really unique position. And, you know, we hope that in time this could become a mainstream beer. Does that happen yet? No. Is it going to happen? Who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
You know, at the same time, it's a possibility, and that's the reason they're in this game. So it's the reason we're in it, too.
So is this your beer, Sean?
No, this is Gabriel's and Danny's. And this is kind of a unique... I'm pretty sure that they did this with this fill, but Danny took a carboy home, fermented that. Gabe took his home, fermented that. Danny had some bottling issues where I think there were some gushers.
Okay.
Because he bottle conditioned. And I believe what Gabe did was he hooked up his Blickman beer gun
and
popped the top off of Danny's and took the beer gun, filled from his keg, bottom up, which pushed half of Danny's out, and then recapped it, threw a little bit of CO2 on top. So I'm pretty sure that this is not only, a collaboration beer with, the two brewers, but this is 2 separate batches in one bottle.
In one bottle. And let me get the...
Wait.
Fucking homebrewers.
Wait a second. Yeah.
So was
No
his
wonder you're not
beer,
welcome.
the beer that came out of the gun was still... And he added it to over-carbonated?
No, his was carbonated.
His
in
was
the keg.
carbonated in the keg. And and then I assume then you took bottles that weren't gushers, is what you're saying.
No, they filled them up. They were missing beer, so they added beer to fill them back up.
Yeah, like you
now
pop
I
it,
understand.
it would gush out a little bit, but then
fill it with the...
Filled it and topped it off with some CO2 to maintain the freshness of it.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure
and
that's what they did with this.
At
least the one that won the competition was a mix of the 2 beers. I know he had to fill these after the fact to ship these up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly, but the one that...
Was that a rule that it had to be a mix of 2 beers?
No.
Or they just were so hardcore about sharing this that they were like, this is how we have to do it?
They're like, we're going to take this to ultimate homebrewing levels.
I hope they were kissing while they did it, too.
Yeah, where's
That'd
that
be amazing.
photo?
So they didn't find gushers and then figure, we'll preempt the gushing by opening them at home and then topping it off?
Yeah, they're crazy. So.
Okay, so the beer that's in my glass is one of those beers. That's all of our glass. Is the half gush.
I'm pretty sure. I know for sure the bottles that were entered into the competition were for sure the mix of the 2.
Okay.
I'm not getting any oxidation, which of course that would be the first thing I would assume would happen in this sort of bottle.
They were filled up, I believe, last Sunday or Monday. So I mean, it's fairly fresh.
Fairly young.
Yeah.
And how old is the beer in general? This is when they were bottled. Is they pretty? This is a recent activity.
Yeah.
So the beer tastes fine, and I'm getting the pecan out of it, which is a really nice flavor. It's almost like a raisin character too. I say that first because, God, one thing I would worry about with the gushers is that it wasn't that it was over-primed, but that there could have been an infection in that beer. But luckily, I'm not tasting anything like that. But you see what I mean, right? Like, couldn't a gusher be an infection?
Right. Yeah. And I'm getting some phenols in here that would be
one thing
also caused by a contamination issue, which would cause gushers.
One thing that I don't think you mentioned is that there's vanilla in this as well.
Okay. Yeah, there is vanilla.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the pecan and vanilla is doing a good job to mask some of the phenols.
I see.
But I smelt some, and then I also do taste some in there.
Yeah.
And so when you said that, some were gushers, it kind of leads me to believe that it's more likely a contamination.
And of course, I only bring it up to, maybe not recommend doing that to all homebrewers if you...
Yeah.
Although it sounds fun.
Right. I mean, that's what we're about, right? We're about sharing, and you brew it together. You want a bottle together. You want equal amount. I think that'd be
that's
cool.
hardcore.
Like if we brewed a beer together and we split the batch and we fermented together, and then I would probably do the same thing. Let's blend it together and enter that, so that way that beer is both of our beers.
Let's be honest. I would be the one making you do that. You would, because I'd be like, no, JP, it's ours.
Yeah.
Anyhow, this beer won the competition, right?
It was chosen to be the one that was brewed there.
I see.
Tamarind beer one.
Okay. Because they liked the style and the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the head brewer also has to think about what's going to sell in the tasting room. They don't want something too fucking weird.
Yeah.
Sure.
Although fucking weird sells sometimes.
It does.
You can use that name on your next beer if you want. Just
fucking weird sells.
Already trademarked.
Sometimes.
Or weird sells, I think would be rad. And it's like a fucking pale ale.
Just for
You're
you,
like,
Justin.
Wow, this must be new. I'll come down for a pale ale. That's okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. And then, so that's why I wanted to hear what the homebrewers have to offer pro brewers, because I think that's a great example. Something new to the lineup, and it doesn't have to be too crazy or even difficult to do. Do you know much about the recipe in this beer and how the...
Yeah, I've got the notes actually in front of me. So they added about... how many pounds of pecans? Give me a second. They had a lot of pecans. But he roasted them at home, 300 degrees Fahrenheit roast. Let's see where it is. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It all got texted to me at the last
No
minute.
worries.
God damn it.
Come on.
You know what, JP? I don't need your sass, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do dead air, it's fine.
5 pounds. 5 pounds in a 10-gallon batch.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of pecans, and he roasted those at home in his personal oven.
It's a lot of nuts.
And then what? It goes into the mash.
And then I think he added it during secondary.
Secondary?
If I remember correctly.
Did he add it in a sack?
Like a nut sack?
I wasn't there.
Like a sack of
I mean,
nuts?
I'm not
Did he
entirely
dip it
sure
gently
about
into the beer up and down?
Gently up and down.
Yeah, he teabagged
I don't think it was a nut sack. I mean, it was like a normal sack.
Well,
It actually went in the
made
mash.
sure that the sack had a seam down the bottom of the center, so that it kind of.
And it was 2 nuts
You
in
can
a
get
sack.
those at morebeer.com.
That's right.
The all-new nut sack.
Actually, AdamandEve.com/morebeer.
Yes.
The whole porno line of homebrewing equipment.
They have DVDs all about it.
Is that the new BN section of Adam and Eve?
Adam and Eve, yes. It's very exciting.
Very exclusive, too.
For homebrewers who can't get boners anymore, with just normal.
It's hot chicks dipping nutsack-shaped bags of pecans into hot boiling water.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's the new BN Army code.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, so do you know... Are there then like whole nuts that go into secondary?
No, I know he chopped them up.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so that they were
Most of it
finer.
went into the mash.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the mash.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. This would be like a mash
nuts
thing.
in the mash.
That would make more sense.
Yes.
Are there any fermentables that come out of nuts?
Semen does have some sugar in there.
You're right, yeah.
Well,
I feel like we've discussed this before.
I think Brewdog did make a beer.
High in
They must have
protein.
made a beer that's nut beer or something, right? I mean,
So you think there are fermentables?
no.
There's not, right? But yeah.
No, I think that there's
there
some
are-
natural sugars. There has to be.
A small amount.
Yeah,
A
because
small
it's a
amount.
seed, right? And so, in order for that to germinate the actual growth of whatever it's trying to grow, there has to be some sort of sugars contained within the meat
Yeah,
of
well,
it.
I guess I just wonder. It's probably not converted in a brewer's mash, though. Even if there is.
Well, I mean, and nuts are mostly protein. I mean, that's why they're good for you and stuff like that. Supposedly.
Okay. Do they have vitamin B12? Do you know?
Oh, that's a great
There's
question.
1 gram of sugar in 19 halves of pecans.
19 halves.
What the heck is
Nothing.
19 halves?
Okay.
18 pecans, I guess.
And a half.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just do it in a whole pecan?
Because fucking Bing, dude. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Ask Bing.
If you switch over to Google, it'll answer like a normal fucking thing.
Yeah.
Bing has to be different, like JP.
Right, yeah.
Anti-establishment Bing.
Yeah, search New England IPA in Bing, and it says, fuck you.
Exactly.
All right, well, I think this is a good choice of a beer. Simple like a brown ale, and then you get
It is
just
delicious.
a little added,
It makes me want pie.
Yeah. Although you said fucking bananas, and then I go banana pecan pancakes. That sounds good
Oh,
too.
that
So now I'm
does sound
hungry.
good.
So you're a dick.
IHOP?
Endless breakfast.
We could make that happen.
What's the next beer in our glass?
All right, this is a really
Arlito?
fun one.
Oh, it smells good.
Yes,
Did I
this
say
is
that
this is Arlito. So
Got it.
this is a
Arlito's Way.
this is a club brew that we did where it's 20 gallons. We separated out. Somebody took 5, another person took 5. I took 10, split that up into 2 5-gallon batches, and this one is really fun because I'm friends with the guys at Shacksbury Cider up in Vermont.
Okay.
We have their cider on tap at Barley Forge. Arlo is it's like a farmhouse cider. What they do is it's a no boil. They use whatever natural occurring yeast that's on the skin of the apples to ferment that cider.
Nice.
And it tastes really good. It's like the closest cider that you would have to a Saison, pretty much, to a farmhouse beer. So I had them ship me out some of that yeast that they collected from their tank.
Okay.
And this is 100% fermented with that wild Vermont strain. And because you were talking about, New England IPAs, let's just say that this is a Vermont beer with oats and wheat, and it's pretty damn clear.
Right.
It is pretty clear.
The yeast out of the air in Vermont makes clearer beer
Than all of New England?
Than all of New England in tanks.
And what's really fun about this is we actually met up with Nick from the Yeast Bay last night. He met up with us at Fieldwork, and I'm going to send him some of this yeast, and he's going to plate it out. and
see what's in there,
and ship some back and maybe clean it up a little bit, but so we can keep using this. I mean, it
has a great cider characteristic to it. Among the farmhouse stuff going on, when I first smelled the beer, I wondered if it was some sort of braggot or something.
I think the yeast takes on some sort of flavors from the apples. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting from, because this is just the yeast that I used to ferment. There was no cider in this at all. So I'm just curious if the yeast kind of morphed, after the first, batch of cider, and then it took on the flavors of the apples, which is very possible.
Which is in there.
There is a good Brett underlying flavor in there, and maybe that's like the tannin from maybe the apple skins or something. I don't know. That's kind of with a little bit light farmhouse and but I don't know if there's bread in there or not. But
I get the tannin
great.
when you say that. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. And I think from the skins, like you said, how was fermentation?
Great.
Did it go fast? Was it normal?
Well, this was in a carboy in the lab at Barley Forge, so it was neutral. Whatever the ambient temperature is in there is probably like around 70. Okay. Went pretty quick. I've got the notes here, but primary, I was able to drive it down to about 1010. Took it off of the yeast and then had it sit in in another carboy for about 3 months and brought it down to 1006.
Got it.
So it is a 100% wild beer, although not spontaneous, but using the same yeast.
But there is no apple juice in this, right? Yeah.
No.
You'd be amazed when it's very common for cider makers to use wine yeast. How much using a wine yeast like that actually imparts a wine/grape-like flavor that you would associate with a specific wine in the cider. And so I think there's a lot to do with when you're just eating raw fruit. Some of those flavors that you associate with that fruit is actually from what's like the yeast and bacteria that's living on the fruit.
I see what you're getting at, yeah.
And so you sample that out, and then you just put it in something else, some other sugar source, and you're going to get those flavors.
Yep. There's even a little honey in there, too.
Yeah.
I feel like a taste of honey.
Yeah.
So the bill on this is Belgian Pils, white wheat, flaked rye, flaked oats, Magnum, and Cascade.
So one thing that's interesting is that, Sean said we split this 4 different ways. So there's 4 different batches, 4 different yeasts that were made with this, and this is by far the best one. I mean, each beer tasted completely different in every way, and this one is so far unique than anything else just because of the yeast.
So what were some of the other yeasts, Just some...
The other one that I still have in the carboy is amalgamation from the East Bay. And I don't know, there's another one that I believe Steve Peel took home. I don't know what he fermented that with, but it was clean. He used a clean Saccharomyces for that, and I don't know what the other one was. Does Gabe have the other one?
I don't know who has the other one, honestly.
Hector.
Yeah. We have a really good inventory management
to you.
system since we're all homebrewers.
Yeah.
Just making sure that everything works out well.
Yes. Beer is everywhere. Nobody knows. Well, these types of collaborations where we've talked about this on the show in the past, where you're splitting batches like that is really one of the best ways a homebrew club can work together to get different results. You get a lot of different beer out of it. So I like the split batch thing. I've always been a fan.
We really like to do that. Another really unique thing that we like to do that is actually, we got an idea from Brewlosophy. We actually had Ray Fond from Brewlosophy come down one time, and he did a triangle test with us, kind of like you guys have done on the show.
Yeah.
There's that Google spreadsheet that you did.
Yeah.
Well, we basically have taken that kind of Google spreadsheet design and put it with all of our tastings. So now whenever we have members bring down beer, we do blind tasting, so you don't know whose beer it is or anything.
Okay.
And you fill out a quick Google spreadsheet form, and then when everyone's done filling it out, then we have the brewer talk about the beer, and people give comments and stuff like that.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's really, we've got a lot of good feedback about it because you get, people feel like they get more honest feedback. They can take that data then and build graphs with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting to us, too, because we can look back at the data and say, hey, you know what? People here like IPAs more than other beers or something like that,
You don't say.
Well, I'm I mean, that's an obvious data point in, whatever. But, there's a lot of data points that we can pull out of it because we just keep all that data.
Yeah.
Not to be like
All right, big brother.
but just because we think it's
Eye in the
interesting.
sky.
Sure.
You know?
Do any of your club members ever get butthurt about that feedback? And if so, what is their name, and can we make fun of them?
Right. What was the feedback?
The name's Kyle Sherman.
Kyle's a sensitive man.
Yeah, very sensitive.
And the anonymous nature of that feedback, I think, helps this problem I'm making fun of, right? Like, everyone can just kind of stand up there, and nobody in particular is picking on them.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The way we have it, it's kind of funny. So, like, we try and keep it as real as possible. So it's like, would you buy this beer again? It's like, absolutely yes. Hell no.
Okay.
You know, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, is this a good beer?
Yeah.
Because we want to keep it like, you know, we found that adding a cost structure to it makes people be more honest. And I'm going to be honest, I've said hell no a few times.
Yeah.
Because that's just the lay of land.
Okay.
But the number of times I said that is so few.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the beers that we get in the club are actually really darn good. And it's impressive because a lot of our members come in and they say, hey, you know what? This isn't my best batch. I'm sharing it with you because there's an issue, and I'm trying to identify it.
And I have a lot to get rid of.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, but honestly, we all work hard to try and identify that person's flaw.
Yeah.
And figure out what's going on so that, you know, they can brew better beer because that's really important to us.
Well, that's the point of a homebrew club.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
And so you get so down and dirty with it.
And in this format, you get corroboration in that feedback, too. If you have so many people filling out the form and the same flaw shows up repeatedly, it's hard to stand up there and refute that, right?
Right. And we have like 40 people at our homebrew club meetings.
Nice.
And you can check a box that says, hey, this has diacetyl in it, you know?
Yeah.
So he can see, hey, out of the 40 people who reported my beer, 30 of them said there's diacetyl in it. So,
That's really great, yeah. Especially if you don't have your own sense for those types of compounds in the beer.
Like me, I can't taste anything.
You get nothing at all.
I can't taste diacetyl.
You're drinking beer right now.
Have we had one of your beers yet, Kyle, tonight?
I don't have one here tonight,
You
unfortunately.
pussy. You came up here without your own homebrew?
You know, I wanted to, but I wanted to showcase the club, you know, and it's not about me.
It's not about me.
Yeah. I brought my homebrew up last time I was here. Tasty had some.
Okay.
And I gave some to JP.
And they've both been wondering why we invited you back since.
And actually, you had some too, Beardy.
I did. I remember taking it home with the Dortmunder you gave me, too.
Oh, yeah, I gave you a bottle of that.
Kyle
Scott,
is the hero.
did you bring us beer tonight? Is any of the homebrew yours?
Why are you laughing?
You're the grandfather of all this homebrew.
Did you bring
No,
us?
I did
You
not.
did not.
Scott doesn't brew beer.
Sean's the only one who brought us his beer, well,
Right.
from the brewery anyway.
Right.
But I'll take that.
I just sell the stuff, man.
Okay. Now it's your homebrew shop,
Right,
is that right?
Correct,
When did you guys open that?
This shop has been 2 years now.
Okay.
I had a couple shops in the Midwest for about 5 years.
Oh.
Was tired of tornadoes and stuff. So
I see.
My wife's from Southern California. We moved back out and kind of all started this at the same time. The shop,
Okay.
right across the street. Sean rolls a cart across the street, loads up on stuff, rolls it back across the
Do you
street.
get ingredients from the home
Oh,
shop?
yeah. All of our pilot batches, we get the ingredients from Windsor.
Nice.
Very rarely do we use anything from the brewery. So, you know, we like supporting local businesses in general. But, of course, Scott, we got to put food on his table. He's got 2 beagles at home.
Oh.
They got to eat.
They got to eat.
Or not. Aren't those the really loud ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to eat.
No. Well,
Just let them go, man. Focus on work.
right.
You know, but all in all, the quality of beer that these members bring to the club meetings is phenomenal. I mean, there was, you know, one of our members brought a beer that was infected, but it was like a Brett infection, and it ended up being pretty good. And, you know, there's not too many beers that are really that bad at all.
And you guys have had, actually, a previous member of ours on Dr. Homebrew before, John Mazurko. I
Yes.
know. He,
was he on? I know he was also on the Sour Hour.
Or was it the Sour Hour? It
Yeah.
could have been the Sour Hour.
The most humble guy.
Yeah, and he brewed a beer with the good beer company called Wildflower. We had another brewing member called Charles Rapidus who brewed a beer with the good beer company as well. So, you know, we have some members who have had some successes. I mean, Sean's story as well. And then we have David Hall, who is now working as a brewer.
He's I think his official title is Cellarman, but he has brewed his own recipe at Bottle Logic.
Yeah.
So he's working there now, but
That's cool.
It was you know, very interesting because he started he was a manager of another homebrew shop that closed down in Fullerton, and then he kind of like segued that position into working for Bottle Logic, and now he's like living the dream.
Oh yeah,
and he makes great homebrew, and he actually participated in our first GABF Pro-Am.
Okay.
That we entered with Barley Forge.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And the Good Beer Company that you mentioned, that's down in the OC2? That's near you guys?
Yeah, that's...
How did they get that name? How is that not taken?
That's in Santa Ana, though.
Don't you just want to open one next to them, though, called the Great Beer Company?
The Better Beer Company? Yeah, I do.
They make some really good sours. Brandon Fender there makes some phenomenal beer.
I've heard a lot of good things about their beer. I've never had it, but people say very nice things.
My problem would be that I would always be concerned that everyone would just think my beer is good. Not great. Not amazing.
What is that where you're from? That's what you would like. You would love that.
Well, I would love it, but I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure again, right? Where it's like, oh, it's just good. It's not great. It's because you go in there, oh, this is good beer. This is all good beer.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
But
I feel like
good. You need to hear how it sounds. This is really good. Or it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm more of the latter than the former.
It's like texting with all caps.
Yeah. It's not that, though. It's exact. In caps is what JP wants. That's the Great Beer Company.
Well, they make sure that their logo's always in all caps. They spray paint that thing on all caps all the time.
You can go to their brewery and have one of everything, and
it's all good.
It's all good, but it's all session beers for the most part.
Oh,
I mean, every now and then they'll do like a pale or an IPA that's a little bit higher ABV, but I mean you can go in there and try everything and may or maybe not even get a head change.
I'm sorry, a pale that's higher ABV than a session?
What?
No,
that would be
Is
right.
that what you said?
That would be correct.
That would be.
So a pale.
5.5.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, pale.
Leave him alone. He did it already.
No, okay. Maybe I'm
What's
screwing
the
it up.
definition of
a pale would
session?
be higher
anything
ABV than a session.
Okay.
So yes.
All right.
What was it? 4.8 and below, technically.
I say 5. I don't know if is there a line, like a literal line now? I don't know.
Aren't you the BJCP judge in here?
I think under 5.
I'm only recognized, man. I don't fucking know.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He filled out his name correctly on the test.
Yeah.
I think it's under 5 also.
I would say
even
under 5 is
a lot of
session.
4.9s are being called session, which is fine by me. That's a session to me.
I guess I've always thought of pale ale as being a session, even though it might be 5.3 or 5.4. So I wasn't trying to be a
It
dick.
depends on your session.
yours is higher.
I was just stupid.
Your threshold is higher than 5
Yeah.
for a session.
So
No,
a pale
it's-
to you has always been a session IPA?
Yes. No, for me, the session's 5% and under, but I've never thought of a pale ale as being not a session, but I've never had those two data points meet and go, which one is higher than this?
I see what you're
Chart
saying.
it out, Kyle.
Right.
I'll make a graph. for
Please
you
do.
on
Please
Google.
do. I need a flow chart more than a graph,
Okay.
bro.
We got it. We got
Thank
it.
you.
What is your day gig, Kyle? Is this your thing, like graphs and data?
I'm a civil engineer, so
Got
I do design of residential buildings, and I used to do municipalities and stuff like that.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now we have a Google sheet, and you can get data points and all the thing. Fucking engineers.
Is
man.
the Hyperloop going to work and save humanity?
He
I refuse
can't
to
answer
comment. But no, honestly,
What about
I
the
think
underground tunnel going from like Fullerton to fucking
that's-
wherever?
that's
He
freaking
started
awesome.
digging that,
No, I mean, honestly, all of those things are pretty cool, and I'm really excited for all those types of technologies.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about the speed train from in California, from
All right.
Modesto
All right.
to
I'll actually give you an opinion on that.
Okay.
The speed train is a great freaking idea.
Yeah.
It is awesome in concept.
Right.
It has been executed by our politicians terribly.
Right.
That is my opinion.
Have you ever made a road shaped like a dick?
Just for fun.
Just to see it in the cul-de-sac.
Answer the question,
CAD,
please.
yes. In real life,
real life.
no.
As my senior project, yes.
So if the boss so I can have something in my portfolio if the boss is ever hard up for a project. Kyle, we need you to come through, buddy. What do you got?
I know this has nothing to do with beer whatsoever, but I think you guys would get a kick out of this. When we do CAD drawings, we do like little teeny blocks basically that we put in the drawings. So, you have this big like 32 sheet paper, but when we design it, we get down to like the inch on this page. So sometimes like there'll be these little objects that will come out looking like, say, a fire hydrant, but realistically it's a bunch of dicks drawn together to look like a fucking fire hydrant. Because the engineer was pissed. So we just put them all together to
love
make it look
this.
like a line.
This is great.
So, yeah. And that happens everywhere
When
in
engineers
every
act
municipality. And I am not Kyle Sherman at all. I'm Jerry from Minneapolis. And I'm not a licensed engineer.
You're Hector from Russia, Mexico.
Mexico.
No, but you guys were talking earlier. We were talking about Good Beer Company. And one thing I want to really make a case about is, Orange County right now has the Orange County Brewers Guild. And what that is it's a collaborative group of all the breweries in the area kind of working together to promote beer culture, craft beer, and stuff like that.
Good.
And they're bringing some really awesome things to Orange County in general. Orange County 5 years ago had very few craft breweries. I mean, we had the brewery and we had a couple others, but since then we've exploded. And this guild has been a big part of that, and working closely with them as homebrewers has been an excellent opportunity for us.
So homebrewers are allowed to be part of the guild.
Yeah, we
You guys
are a member of
That's
the
really
guild.
cool.
And we attend their meetings.
That doesn't happen very often at all. That's really great.
Yeah, we get free pizza.
It's great.
Well, so Patrick, the owner of the brewery,
Yeah.
essentially, he started the guild a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I was having lunch with him, and I was like, hey, I'd really like to be a part of this guild as a homebrewer.
Yeah.
My homebrew shop, our homebrew club. He's like, well, I don't know what you're going to get out of it, but sure. And then, so now we've kind of infiltrated a little bit. And
Right.
now every month I'll have a brewer come from a brewery at the shop and talk how they brew beer, share samples, and we have some ideas we were talking today at lunch about just integrating more the homebrewers in with the craft breweries in Orange County.
Yeah.
Kind of like you talked about earlier, it really does benefit everybody. I mean, if you bring these homebrewers in, they feel connected to that brand, that brewery.
Sure.
It kind of helps everybody out.
I don't think I've ever heard of a guild that allowed homebrewers to be part of it. I think it's a really novel and a good idea.
The OC Mashups are a member, and I'm a member as the shop.
Yeah.
I mean,
and why not?
We poured beer at the OC Mashups the Orange County Brewers Guild Festival when they had it last few months ago, and we're going to be pouring as well as at the next festival. So they invite us with open arms, and that's how we communicate to the other breweries and say, hey, we want to do this.
Yep.
I mean, earlier I mentioned we did that end of the year party, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without the guild.
Sure.
So Brewery Tarot, for instance, opened their doors to us, and they had a custom lineup of beers when we came in, and had a table set aside for us in their it's a brand new facility. They just opened that thing months ago.
Yeah, it's their wild and sour facility.
Yeah, and they had some free food for us and beers from their bottle share club that they pulled from the archives for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we had Noble having their brewers there for us, and Bottle Logic giving us a private tour of way behind the scenes beyond anything that most breweries talk about.
Sure.
High level stuff for home brewers,
Bathrooms, everything.
Yeah, bathrooms,
Yeah.
Well, it was full circle for you guys at Bottle Logic because David Hall, who is a member of the OC Mashups, who now works at Bottle Logic, guided the tour.
Yeah.
So that was
really cool.
That was like circle of life shit.
But it's it's important to us, and I think the guild too, to promote the culture because it's part of their tenet to educate the community about beer, and that's one of our tenets too. And having that ability to do that, I think, is really unique to Orange County, and why Orange County is such a great place for beer as well as homebrewing.
Sure.
As a community.
I think this all goes to show, too, that you guys must have a level of professionalism and respect that the pro brewers and the Brewers Guild are happy to work with you, to bring you onto the guild. And I mention that because homebrew clubs can just be a party, too. And,
For sure.
And professional brewers, of course, they like to have a good time, but need those things separated. So clearly, and this would just be advice for all homebrew clubs, when you reach that level or you're working in that environment, you got to show some professionalism.
Yeah. Well, I think if you want to do something like they're doing and also grow, you need the same thing, which is the professionalism. You need to have structure. You need to have it be a base of learning.
Right.
And everyone gets everything out of it. It's not just, hey, here, try my beer, then I'm going to go hang out in the back and you guys talk about dry hopping or whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Just drink my contaminated saison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it has to be, people have to be active, and if you want to grow that shit, you have to have a level of professionalism and respect for what's going on.
So the Brewing Network will never, our club anyway, will will never be entering into these forms of.
No,
not going to happen.
Never.
But homebrewers in general are great sources to get information out about beer.
Yeah,
because we talk, because friends, family all know that we know about beer, so we're always, good people to recommend breweries or beers. And
I just make shit up.
Yeah.
Is there a percentage of pro brewers that have started as home brewers? I feel like it's got to be like 90,
above 95.
Yeah,
above 99.
And a lot of times once you work in the brewing industry and you're brewing beer for a brewery, you kind of lose touch of your home brewing roots.
Yeah.
And I think that the club can really help bring that back. To the collaborating with other breweries. Having them step outside of their comfort zone, brewing something a little bit different, which they wouldn't think would taste good, but, just brew a 5-gallon batch of it, and, it's delicious. So it's a good opportunity for both parties.
I could not agree more. All right, I got to get us to a break, and then I think we've got some more beer to drink. We're going to come back and wrap things up, but since you brought more beer, we might as well drink it while we're doing that, right?
Sure.
All right. Before we go to break, you can go over and check out craftbeer.com. It's like the craft beer website. I mean, it's in the name. Craftbeer.com. I recommend going and looking at their Beer 101 course or sending your friends to it who are just starting to learn about craft beer. It's just a great way to do it. And then also their Style Finder is fantastic. It'll teach you everything about beer styles all the way down to what glassware it should be served in and where it comes from and the history. Craftbeer.com. It's a great resource to find out everything you need to know about craft beer. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got to wrap up our Twitter game. We're going to taste some more. Do we have more homebrew and pro brew in our repertoire?
Yeah, we've got I believe 3 more of the Barley Forge beers. JP, did you bring the...
No, one more Barley Forge beer.
All right, we'll be right back.
Whatever you want.
The Brewing Network. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grain Fathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you. And all of your brewing questions over at HopTech.com. HopTech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone certification program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American wheat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone certification program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone certification program. We know beer.
Hey, this is Julian Trego from Beechwood Brewing, and you are listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Welcome back to the show. We got some more beer to drink, some hanging out to do. And I wanted to let you know about a new sponsor of ours, wonderful new brewery, Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company. I feel like Donald Trump now.
It's Neshaminy.
Wonderful people. Tremendous.
Very good.
It's going to be a huge brewery.
Yeah, huge. It's going to be great. It's a great brewery.
Tremendous new brewery. Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company, they've been on the Philly beer map since 2012. They're the 3-time Philly Beer Scene Magazine Brewer of the Year. 2014, 2015, 2016. 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner.
Oh.
In 2013, they got the gold, and in 16, they got the bronze. Also a bronze for their smoked lager in 2016. Large, expanded, and recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating and seasonal limited beers. That's pretty cool. 18 out of 24.
Right.
Wow.
To be rotating. A variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers.
Pound it. Not crushable.
No.
Poundable.
Sessionable?
Poundable.
Even sessionable.
From oak fermented saisons and sour beers, all sorts of things they got. Free brewery tours on Saturdays. I like that they're free. Are people charging for brewery tours nowadays?
Yes.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Some states.
Even small.
We paid for Anchor yesterday.
Paid for Anchor?
$20.
Anchor's charging.
What?
Has that always been the case?
No.
No, you just
But
have to sign up.
We got a lot of beer out of it.
You did?
And I was drinking a lot of barley wine and like their barrel-aged stuff.
Okay.
It was worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not from around here. It was worth it.
I feel like
Some history.
Fritz Maytag would. He's not dead. I can't
He's
say
rolling
that.
over in his condo. Right?
In his F1.
Rolling over in his condo.
Rolling over in his limousine.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, I heard
it's so
it
big, he can.
I heard it used to be really hard to get in there. So
Because
That's true.
They only used to do it every Friday.
right, and so now it's. I mean, we were able to sign up the day before, basically. So
Oh,
I think that
interesting.
might be kind of why they're charging a little bit. And there was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you know, they obviously
All right.
have good demand.
Well, they're smarter than I am, so I can't really say much about it. All right, go to NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com and check it out. They got a new second location opening this spring, too. So thanks to them for coming on board. And those of you in the area or passing through, go in and have a beer with them and thank them yourself.
Please
because,
do.
It's breweries like that and all our wonderful sponsors that keep us going here at the BN. So thanks to them. All right, we do have just a couple things to do, but there's more beer in our glass. What's this one?
This one is one of our anniversary beers from last year. We make an 11% Belgian dark strong called the Black Dahlia, and this is the cognac barrel-aged version of that. Cognac.
It's fucking good.
Yeah.
Cognac-a-lac.
Yeah. It's big. It's not hot, though. The alcohol's not.
It just smells big. Like,
yeah,
I can't
but
even
it
get over that
smells big.
nose. I'm trying to digest the nose. There's so much depth to it.
Nose is awesome. How old is this beer?
Well, it's been in the bottle for over a year, but it was in the cognac barrels for, I think, 9 or 10 months.
Wow.
God, it has all those
But then
really aged flavors, but without the side effects that come with it, like cardboard and some of the other bullshit.
Yeah.
Like it has all of those kind of basement grapey, raisiny awesomeness without the bullshit. That's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. We just the Black Dahlia, the base beer, was on hiatus for a while because it takes so long for it to ferment out. We, had to, stop brewing it for a little while because we needed the tank space. But we just recently brewed it about a month ago, so the Black Dahlia will be back in the tasting room in the near future. But this was a one-off. This was, the cognac barrel adds like a really nice dimension to it, a nice sweetness. You get a little bit of that raisiny character, which is it's very nice.
Yeah, I agree with
That's delicious, man.
That's a great beer.
I wish it was 4%.
Just want that in 4.
Yeah. Come on.
I prefer my cognac 4%.
Yeah, 4% cognac. Baller status.
Right.
Pounded so much cognac,
Oh, man.
bro. You don't even get it.
Yeah,
I don't.
Up in the club.
That's good beer. What's
That's
the other
delicious,
beer?
man.
Homebrew?
Yeah, this is the one that I brewed with Renee from the club. This one is
From the club.
from the club in the club.
Renee from the club in the club.
It's actually
That's a good beer
PA
name.
club.
Yeah.
See, when I say Renee from the club, I'm talking about a stripper.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Renee.
When you
Yeah,
say...
you're talking about the nursing student.
Yeah.
It was not as glorious as that.
Okay.
This was, part of the same competition, the bootleggers competition. It was just deemed that this beer was just too weird. It's the base beer is a full-bodied golden ale with lactose. So that's the base beer. It's experimental, and then we used tamarindo in the boil, which gives it like a citrus tang to it.
Okay.
And then we added in secondary we added cardamom and star anise to that.
Is tamarind a spice? What is it?
It's like a fruit pod. It's kind of a weird... the name of this beer is called Dedos Locos, which means crazy fingers. And because they really look like these crazy long pod things that you would never probably want to eat. But we had to devein them before throwing them in the boil. So this got a 60-minute boil.
I like fruit pod as a name for a beer.
Weird pod. Fruit pod.
So
That's great.
This beer doesn't. I don't like this beer at all. I got to tell you.
There you go.
Not my favorite choice of spices.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we just kind of went with it. We're like, all right, well, this sounds good.
And then how old is this beer? Was this going to drop out? Is it going to have hope? Is there a chance?
Will this get better?
Yeah, because he brought you 12 kegs, Tasty. So you better fucking hope so.
Yeah,
Got a growler of it.
I've used tamarind in a farmhouse beer before, and it came out really good. It was able to sour the beer without using any lacto or anything in there.
Okay.
And Renee and I were just sitting around saying, "What is the craziest shit that we can brew?" And this was pretty much it.
We're on the same page then.
Yeah,
the craziest.
So
I like it.
I like it. I can see why it would win a competition, and I can also see why a commercial brewery would be like, I can't sell that.
Yeah,
because I couldn't drink a pint of this. I could probably do like a 10-ounce pour.
Oh, it also has Pinocchio in it, which is not penicillin. It is it's a Mexican sugar
or penis
or penis.
It doesn't have penis or penicillin.
Well, that's too bad. Now I don't want
may
it.
have
It
penis.
tastes like penis.
But
I like everything about it, except there is one thing in the aftertaste that's a little toothpastey.
Yeah.
The lack of penis. It's
the lack of penis, I think.
I would guess it's the cardamom.
It's like for a moment in the aftertaste, and then it goes away.
either that
too.
or the
toothpaste,
the star anise or anise, whatever is in there, that kind of lingers. Anise, I think so.
Yeah.
Anus. It's got anus in
penis
there.
and anus in it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird
anise.
beer, but yeah, they're like, yeah, it's
I like
scored the highest, but yeah, They're not going to brew it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just if you break it down, you're tasting it. You read the ingredients, you know what's in it, and they're kind of like just kind of defined. There they are. They're right there. They kind of flow really well together.
They're right there.
And then at the end, it just kind of comes together. You get the cardamom, you get some of the sweetness in the malt and the sugar in the background, and that's kind of it. To me, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
So I can see why it would win. But again, I can also see it'd be I don't know. Would this? I should just brew this.
Call it a spice saison, and it would sell. Relatively quickly. Down
Spiced session IPA saison.
Right.
Or
IPA.
Bring the whole thing back a little bit, like add like a 30% carbonated water to it, and just let it, not be so intense.
Even this one here,
Yes.
you're saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Leave everything the same. And
just dilute it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
not
this
bad.
one's 6.8%.
Yeah, it'd be better at 5.5.
There you go.
It's a session beer.
It'd be an easy try. Yeah, for me, yes.
Yeah, definitely weird. So I do this other beer with the same base where I'd use all chai spices in secondary. I make a tincture with some vodka, extract all the flavors from the spices, and just throw that vodka in the keg, which everybody loves that beer. I made it 1 year for my wife's birthday, and it's just like, you got to keep making that. So I was like, the cardamom, kind of got that idea from that for this. But, this is kind of like a totally unique beer, which...
So with the tincture, you're able to make it more balanced, I assume, right? You can get in just like the level of spicing you're looking for?
When I do all the chai spices, cinnamon, cardamom, allspice, ginger... whatever else is in there. No nutmeg. But yeah, using the tincture is great. Yeah. I mean, I don't get any burn from that, no heat from the vodka because, it's only a few ounces going in, a 5-gallon keg.
Yeah.
But, with this, it was the tamarind in the boil and then a little bit of vodka with the, on the cardamom and the star anise.
Yeah.
Just to kill whatever's on there.
When you do it with a tincture, does that go in the boil, or you just put it in
in the keg?
Yeah.
In the keg.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
What made you want to put lactose in it?
It's I feel like with the result of this beer, either the lactose or the Pinocchio would have been good. Not both of them together. Kind of makes it a little sweet. The golden milk stout type of beer.
Okay.
So
that kind of originated in Orange County with Noble doing their naughty sauce beer.
Yeah.
So now everyone tries to brew that.
So that style doesn't exist.
Right.
A pale stout.
I would say Roger Davis has claim to that.
Oh, Anomaly.
That fool was brewing fucking pale stouts 5, 6, 7 years ago.
He does that, and Noble's been doing it for a while, and also Carton Brewing does it as well
with their
regular coffee.
I just had it, regular coffee. Yeah, I just had it the other day. That beer's great.
Well, and even the guys at Kinetic did a pale-ish coffee.
Pale-ish.
It was amber.
It was a brown
I guess
ale.
it was amber.
Okay, it was a barley wine.
All right. It actually looked like a stout.
Well,
there was a stout.
The trick is
I don't know. I didn't actually see it.
The trick is to brew this beer as light as possible. You want it to, I think it's like 7 SRM or something like that. But I think maybe a little darker than that. But I have done the golden milk stout base, but the chai one is more of my favorite than that.
You brewed a golden milk stout for Barley Forge too, though.
Oh yeah, I did that. I use the same base beer, and I'll do peanut butter and vanilla in there, which is
there you go.
That is on point.
Actual peanut butter?
No, I've done it with peanut butter before, and it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it seems like a
you have to separate all the oil. Yeah, so over at Windsor, he's got this peanut butter extract. It's a 4-ounce bottle. Just dump it in the keg, and it's phenomenal. It's really good. Do that at Barley Forge as well. So I did a porter recently, and we called it. What was it? A Fluffernutter?
Fluffernutter.
Like yeah.
Oh,
I think it was fucking
that's
awesome.
a little New England homage, too.
Yep.
We invented the Fluffernutter out there.
Does it affect head retention at all?
Even the extract does a little bit. Yeah. There's still some oils present in there because I'm sure they're just using some sort of alcohol base to extract that from the peanuts. So, but still way less than if you were to use real peanut butter.
How can a pro brewery who gets involved in these competitions... Just trying to think about the complication of a beer like this wins, and they're like, yeah, good job, good beer, but we're not going to brew that like we've been talking about. How can they how can they set? Do you set guidelines, or do you just have a backup plan where they go, look, we're going to do the competition, but we get to pick the beer we like?
Basically we put that in the rules so that the brewery has the choice at the end of the day. So anyone who goes into our competitions knows that the brewery is going to make a decision based on that, because we know, and we tell our home brewers, and they know too, that you can brew something completely wild. And while it might win the BJCP end of it, the brewery's just not going to take it.
Got it. Okay.
So,
I've also seen breweries pick which categories are even open for
in the
competition.
running. I see.
Correct.
And
so if they don't
that's
want,
a good idea.
they just say you can't enter that.
And we do that
style.
actually when we sit down with the brewery. We sit down with the brewery before we launch a competition. We say, hey, what are you willing to brew? What styles do you want to go with?
Okay.
What restrictions do you want to place? And like for instance, Barley Forge last year was like no lagers because. Mainly time
it was
there,
a time constraint.
But at the same time, we kind of restricted it down on some other levels too because there were just some ingredients they didn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, one of the basic ones that we do all the time for pretty much every brewery is no wild beers.
Okay.
Because they don't want to introduce something wilder into their brewery.
Yeah.
And contaminate it. So,
have you ever found one say anybody can win but Kyle? Has that ever come up?
I think the judges already know that. So
it's completely open except Kyle.
Yeah. Right.
All the OC brewers know it too. They're like, no, fuck that.
Like this is the competition. Enter. Why?
I'm the one who's the gnat in the ear for all them, so they don't want to have to fucking deal with me beyond the amount that they do.
They're like, we're gonna have to brew with him too. Yeah. No, Kyle.
That's just in the rules. Well, thanks so much for bringing in all this wonderful beer for us to try and talking to us about the collaborations. I hope some homebrew clubs across the country got to learn about different ways that they can do that in their community, too. It kind of sounds like we shouldn't be afraid to go ask our local breweries, hey, can we work with you in any way? Run competitions, meet in your brewery, because I do think you're right. It's a good way for both entities to help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you learn so much that way.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me do some websites for you guys. You can go to ocmashups.org and check out the Orange County Mashups website. And you can also go to barleyforge.com and check out Barley Forge Brewing Company's info there. They're in Costa Mesa, California. You can look at I like that you have a live tap list there.
Tap Hunter.
You guys do a lot of unique beers. I mean, we didn't even get to dive into a lot of that because we're spending time on the homebrew side, but using a lot of non-traditional ingredients in different beers, but then also a couple good IPAs there. A mango Hefeweizen. I bet that's popular.
Yeah, so at first it was a normal hef, and then in the tasting room we messed around with throwing some mango juice powder in there, and it just was selling like crazy. So we don't even do a regular hef anymore.
Just
a mango hef, yeah.
Nice.
Make it better.
Does anybody do a regular hef anymore? I mean, that's it's off the radar, isn't it? Like, people aren't just...
It had its moment in the sun in the mid to late 90s.
I can't remember...
Widmer.
I
Don't
can't
they
remember.
still do theirs?
I don't know that anybody's ever come into the Hop Grenade in the 2 years we've been open and said, hey, you got a hef on tap? Like, it just doesn't happen anymore.
Even just an American, not none of those German shit, just a straight American Hefeweizen, please.
I don't know that it's happened.
And they go, well, here's a cloudy IPA.
Well,
it's very similar.
Barley Forge is going to bring it back.
That's right.
With the mango version.
Yes.
So it's coming back.
The way I like to think of Barley Forge is it's a classic beer with a twist. They always bring something unique into each one of their beers.
I like that.
Just a twist.
I think you're right. Even just looking at the different styles, that sounds, Belgian style wit beer, but with horchata.
Yes, that is based off of Greg's homebrew recipe, I believe.
Okay. Oh, I think I've had that. I think I had his homebrew version of that when I met Greg.
Lactose in there, and it's also got cinnamon and vanilla.
Okay.
So
I want to try that, but with rum chata.
We did a one-off nitro version of that for the tasting room, and it was amazing. It was like the most interesting nitro beer. But a lot of people who work at the tasting room are like, they don't care for it so much, but I think it's one of the most interesting beers that we make.
Okay. All right, well, if you're looking to make interesting beers, too, and you need a little help to do it, go to beersmith.com and use their Beersmith homebrewing software. It's the best software on the market, and it's all up to date. I know they're working on a new version right now, and Brad keeps it all up to date. You get a free 21-day trial, so you don't have to take our word for it. Just go to beersmith.com and check it out.
As a home brewer, I can say that it's great software.
Isn't it good?
Yep.
I mean, why? And in all honesty, I shouldn't say this out loud because I love that Brad sponsors us, but really, what other software would you fucking use?
I've tried other ones, and I'm not going to name them because Beersmith is that much better.
Is there even other software anymore? Like, aside from the old one, what's the old-ass one? Okay, so
there's Brewer's Friend out there,
Okay,
and they
there's
do
some.
make a lot of great calculators that I use, but Beersmith is just the one-shop stop.
It's amazing.
It takes care of everything for you.
Yeah.
I use the mobile version for everything. I'll just write recipes.
On the Beersmith mobile
on my
version?
phone, yep.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Gabe, who won our competition, he sent me everything in Beersmith today, too.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, it's just so easy, and we know a lot of pro brewers who come in here and say the same thing.
Our head brewer uses Beersmith
Uses
as well.
it too. I mean, especially if you were a home brewer and then you opened your brew shop, they were like, well, why would I even move to another? I know how to use it, and it's fine.
Yeah, once you learn all the tweaks about it, dial in your efficiency and make sure your numbers are spot on. It's great.
Yeah. It's so good. All right, get your free 21-day trial, and you'll see all the things we're talking about. So you can just fast forward through my ads because you'll already know.
But don't.
But don't do it. And also, thank him for sponsoring.
Right.
All right. What was our Twitter game today? Something to do with Lady Gaga's ass?
Something to do with Lady Gaga's ass, yes. If you could make cottage cheese. No, I'm kidding. I was just kidding.
There was not a dimple on that body.
It was, I didn't watch it in high def, so I don't know.
Poker face. I was like 2 inches away from the screen. Yeah.
I was just looking for. Never mind. No, it was if you could brew a beer that embodied the Super Bowl, what ingredients would you use?
Oh, the Super Bowl, not her show.
Not her show, the Super Bowl.
I thought it was
Which
different.
bookended her show.
Okay.
I'm sure you did.
I thought it was about her show.
I would use Lady Gaga as an ingredient. I mean, honestly.
Die.
Oh, you're in the running then.
Die?
No, you'd have to boil her or something. How are you going to use her as an ingredient?
You can cut her hair. You can dry Gaga
Oh, I
with
see.
her.
You can
Have her dip the bag
Sorry,
of nuts
never mind.
in the beer.
She'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Add serial killer to my list of flaws now.
Flaws or quirks?
Right. All right, I'll stick with quirks.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, you ready for this? So someone called Fuggles says he would brew with something with a bunch of old hops and adjuncts, so it would be a bitter disappointment.
Okay.
There you go. Alex B says, obviously, a Goza, salty and tart, tears added at flame out. Once complete, dump the whole batch.
Okay.
Kim Wood, our very own Kim Wood, says peanut oil, Justin's famous fried chicken, of which I've never heard of, and Kate's tears for the Falcons.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. Yeah, I figured. That's why
I make a mean fried chicken, though.
That's what apparently. That's what the internet tells me.
It's famous.
It's world famous.
It's, Northern California famous.
I have one friend in Germany who likes it, and one... Yeah.
Peter Cullen says probably flour to make the beer nice and hazy so you guys choke like the Falcons.
Winner.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Gordon Strong says choke cherries, deflated pig bladders, and glitter.
Wow.
Glitter.
I don't know where the glitter came from.
Is it a dry glitter?
Gaga.
I don't know, but if
confetti,
That's the Gaga
Where was
reference.
Gaga?
if there's edible glitter, that would be a cool ass beer to make.
apparently there's glitter, like you can take tablets that make your poop glitter.
Nice. So there's edible glitter. Is what
That's
I'm
the reason
saying.
to look back.
Or glitter.
Yeah.
Who
I
stares
think
at
it's
their
just
poop?
glitter.
It's called Goldschlager.
I look at my poop.
It's Goldschlager.
You realize?
Do you look at your poop and be like, you know what I wish there was in there? Glitter.
Something to catch the light off the peanut.
Do you realize how much beer you could sell in strip clubs across America if you had a glitter beer?
Glitter beer?
It would be amazing.
How do you keep it in suspension, though?
I don't know. I
Lots
didn't
of
solve
flour.
all the
London
problems
3.
yet.
London 3 and some flour.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's try it. There you
Imagine
go.
how
Try it.
More fun that guy would have had waffle stomping if his poop was glittery.
Waffle stomping.
Yes.
Shitting out perfection.
Brian says imported overpriced grains, salty tears for Atlanta, clams for New England, and fermented with yeast from Giselle.
Oh God! Oh, these are too complicated for
Yeah,
my
that's
attention
not
right now.
OPB.
They might be good.
Well,
I'm not. I can't pay attention.
Last but not least, Ross Johnson. I would only just buy a commercial brew, remove the label, and add my own cap. It's only cheating if you get caught. So
I like that one, and I like the first one about choking. What was that one?
There was Peter Cullen with the flour to choke.
Yeah,
Probably that one.
That one. I think that's our winner.
Peter
Yeah?
Cullen. There you go.
All right,
Peter. Good job, dude.
And special
Mention
yeah.
Gordon. Thank you, Tasty.
There you go. Here, I'll throw him a like.
He had a really good one there.
All right, I threw Gordon a like.
There we go.
Actually, I'll take it back. Fuck that guy. Okay, no, I'll give it back to him. Okay, there we
Like
go.
strong.
All right.
Aren't we going to his hood for the National Homebrewers Conference?
Yep.
He's a Midwest guy, right?
Yeah.
From
that's just
it's also
his club.
it's-
His club is the Minneapolis or that local Twin Cities club.
Oh,
St.
okay.
Paul Homebrewers.
Right. Yeah. That's his club. Gordon Strong's.
But that's St. Paul. Is that the same?
It's the same.
Minneapolis and St. Paul are right next to each other.
I see.
That's why they're called the Twin Cities.
I got it. What
Right.
what little shitty town did you go to college in over there?
Oh, it wasn't even close to it was
Bemidji!
5 hours north, closer to Canada.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
I've always
and a lake. There was a lake there.
Now your wife is from Minnesota.
Yes.
Candy.
Yes.
You grew up in Santa Cruz, California.
Right.
Which, if you've ever been, people don't really leave Santa Cruz, California, because it's kind of amazing. Why the fuck did you go to college in Minnesota?
Well, people also don't leave Santa Cruz because they're all high.
Okay,
And so
They don't know how to get out.
I'll
yeah,
give you that.
because they
seen
can't figure out how
I'll
to
give you
get
that.
outside.
That's true.
I'm just
So-
going to point out that when Beardy said that, his eyes twitched all over the fucking place.
Well, that's the drugs.
That's normal. Yeah. I wasn't high
That's the
then.
Santa Cruz.
I am high now.
But why really did you pick Minnesota?
I had family there, and I wanted to study abroad.
It was as close
Almost
to abroad as you could get.
Right, yeah. Well,
Southern Canada, he called it.
yeah.
Or you're talking about Candy.
Yeah, abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there.
You went there because family.
Well, it was an easy, hey, could I live at your place and experience a different culture?
A white culture. Not a
But
hippie
of
culture,
the
but a white
cultures
culture.
you could have chosen.
White
Yeah.
people are the best.
I just wonder how that ended up on your list.
Because
Just
I
'cause of
had
the
a free
family.
place to stay,
I see.
and it was just for a semester, and then it turned into way more than that.
You stayed longer than.
Oh, I was there for 5 years.
So you thought you were just going to stay there for a semester,
Correct.
but you went all through school there instead,
Right.
Because of Candy, or because you love
Yeah.
Minnesota. By the way, I have nothing against Minnesota.
Yes.
Just
It was mainly the threat because I was going to leave at the end of that time,
yeah,
and she was like, "I will follow you."
Candy.
Yes.
So you could have left.
I could have, but she was going to follow me. So I was stuck with her no matter what.
What part of Santa Cruz did you tell her you lived in?
The north.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like
Take
the
her a
winter.
while.
I like the winter. It was cheap out there.
Yeah,
You could have a mansion in Minnesota for the price of
an apartment here.
not like
condo?
not even an apartment, a bedroom in an apartment
Right.
here.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's got
speaking
that
of-
going for it.
So we should all move to Minnesota.
Candy's here. You can bring her in an interview
Oh,
right
I
now.
still can't get away from her.
She's following you.
She's still following
She
me.
said she'd follow.
You're lucky she can't hear you on the other side of the
Oh,
glass.
she doesn't.
Candy-
She never listens to the show. So
Candy
it's totally
went
fine.
to Maui for the weekend without Beardy.
Doc took her to Maui.
How fucked up is that?
He left me.
There's lots of dudes out there.
took
took your wife to Maui.
Right.
Wow, you're an accepting husband.
Well, you assume I had a choice.
Yeah. So what did you do all weekend?
Well, I sat around.
Jerked off.
Yeah. Drank a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And I went and played poker guilt-free because I didn't have Candy to be texting me, hey, where are you? Why aren't you home?
I actually think Beardy probably had a better time home alone than Candy had in Maui.
Probably.
Because he does look like he's the type of guy who does need to do what he wants to do, but
He has
never
a glow to him.
He's never allowed to.
Well, the Candy was sitting there. I almost said Taryn. Candy was sitting there hashtag poor Warren, and Warren wasn't thinking about Candy probably at all.
In fact, he saw that and was like, "Oh shit, I'm married."
Yeah, but she was like, "Oh, Warren's probably feeling really bad that he can't be here right now." And
Right. Meanwhile, he's spraying jizz on a hooker.
Here we go.
I have been accused.
Well, it's not really a hooker; it's a coat rack.
I see.
But
Yeah.
he doesn't know.
We couldn't tell the difference.
He's fine.
He's like, I love him skinny.
She knows what I like.
Yeah. Now you're bundled up. It's warm. It's 80 degrees in my house, but all right, get ready.
I have been accused
Snowstorm.
when she comes home of being like, I feel like you became a bachelor while I was gone.
Right.
And reverted back to candy.
To before I changed you.
Right, exactly. To before you became trained.
Do you remember how horrible you were before I found you?
Right. Oh, you mean happy.
You were a horrible person. I fixed you.
They start with the same letter, so it's easy to confuse.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's back, so everything's great.
At least she's back on.
At least you can't tell if you're smiling underneath all that fucking hair. She'll never know.
The beard soaks my tears up very well.
You just have to scrunch your cheeks up to like you squint your eyes, and you're like, sure, you're smiling.
Oh, it's great to see you.
Yeah. Gritted teeth.
Well, I bet you what Beardy spent a lot of his time doing is shopping over at adamandeve.com.
I would almost guarantee it.
That's right. You can make this Valentine's Day, Beardy, one that you'll both never forget. Have you started planning your Valentine's Day?
No.
Valentine's month?
How long you been married?
Yeah, right. I don't plan Valentine's Day because Candy plans Valentine's month. This is true.
It's the love month?
True story.
Yeah. She's like, so if I go to Hawaii, that's going to mess up Valentine's month. I'm like, oh, no.
That's the worst.
You sure you don't want to stay longer? I'll get you a ticket for longer.
It's fine.
What happens during Valentine's month? A lot of date nights?
I work a lot.
Okay.
And stay away.
A lot of overtime happens in February.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
It's real busy.
Yeah.
Lots of cards and little notes and...
oh, really?
Ugh.
Don't you hate it? Like someone loves you that much to
you're the worst.
to make it known.
It makes
That's the
right.
worst.
All it does is make me feel bad about myself because, like, yeah, I think about you.
Oh God! Do you reciprocate
times.
any of the cards or notes or anything?
Yeah, one day out of the month.
You do it on the 14th. Okay.
No, I don't even do that.
14th. What's that?
At some point, I pick a day during the month.
I see.
And that's when she gets a card.
A card. Do you write the card, or it's like a Hallmark card?
He takes an 8x11 sheet of paper, folds it in quarters, and then draws on it.
To Candy from Warren.
And it says escape route on it.
But you get something every day of the month.
Yeah.
And what do you do? You just like put on a smile? Like, are you able to fake it that you really like it?
Well, by the end of the month, she stops expecting a reaction.
Okay.
So, I mean, her goal is to get me to like Valentine's Day. So that's her idea. Is, you know what? He doesn't like Valentine's Day.
So I'm going to overdo this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's going to get 27 Valentine's Days.
Doesn't she give you Valentine's Day off?
Right. That's the only day she doesn't give me something.
Oh.
Wouldn't she make you like it if she like brought home another broad, or like took you to the strip club, or took you to play poker, or... Do you see what I mean? Like, maybe she's giving you the things that you don't like about Valentine's Day.
Well, maybe you should help her out with...
I was going to ask if you want me to
Valentine's
talk to her.
month.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can do that.
I like your ideas.
Listen, I can plan you a fucking Valentine's Day month.
Because you love me.
Candy,
you know how to love me.
I know how to love you, yeah. If Beardy's my dude, Candy, I got this.
Yeah.
Step aside.
Look at her sitting on the other side of that glass.
All innocent.
She has no idea.
She's thinking about it right now.
She's planning out probably February 26th right now.
Yeah, what shitty card she's going to give you tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's why she just got it. She's been making cards for the next week.
Oh, shit.
She probably bought you all sorts of things from Hawaii that you're not going to care about.
Well, and there's things showing up from Amazon, and it's like mystery box. She's like, don't open that. Like, God damn it.
I will direct her over to the Fleshlight section at adamandeve.com. Through Valentine's Day, you'll get 50% off just about any item. Just go to adamandeve.com. You'll find over 18,000 adult entertainment products, including toys, lingerie, and a seemingly endless selection of adult DVDs. And there's more. When you order, you're going to receive our romance kit, Beardy, for free.
I need some romance.
The romance kit includes a toy for him, a special massager for her, and a little something you'll both enjoy, plus a free adult DVD to put you in the mood. And that's not all. You're also going to get free shipping. Just go to adamandeve.com today for the special Valentine's Day offer and use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. 50% off an item, romance kit, free shipping, DVD. BNARMY. Thank you. Thank you, Adam and Eve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, Beard. I'm gonna work on this.
Are you going to hook up the tour of the warehouse, the Adam and Eve warehouse? We talked about a couple shows ago.
Still looking for that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you looking to get hit by another forklift?
Yes.
Right?
But it's probably a silicone forklift, so I'll be all right with
That's
it.
true. You might bounce off a lot.
That's fine. Yeah. With the forks, are just dildos.
They're just dildos,
Giant dildos. Floppy Jiggy's making the floppy dildo motion with his hands.
Yeah, the floppy dildo sign.
That's the international sign for floppy.
Your wrist go limp with your pointer fingers out.
You can go to any country in the world. You do that,
And they go,
they're like, "Oh, the sex shop's over
Come
there."
here.
You guys are going to make sure to pitch the nut bag to them at that point, too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. The on the BN on adamandme.com/the BN. Yeah. The nutsack with the steam down the middle.
Yeah. Or the nut
porn.
The nut back. It's like a hop back, but shaped like nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
To put your nuts in.
Yeah.
Dry hopping.
I have a feeling Tasty won't be shopping in this section of the...
Tasty's very uncomfortable right now. Oddly enough, he can't stand up, though. So.
Okay.
What are you talking about? He's the master of the low hug.
That's right. Yeah, Tasty doesn't...
I stopped doing that.
What?
Why? Did we talk you out of it?
I just say, can I feel your ass? And they say, sure.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, stop beating around the bush.
Why cop it when you can ask me?
Right.
Good point. I find that if you're direct and honest, people are like, sure, whatever.
What do the women say, though?
Whatever. It's not like I want to get pregnant. Well, you got to ask the right women. You got to know when to ask. They're drunk. I'm drunk. Whatever. You know.
Women.
Yeah, you know what that is.
Yeah. Over 50, dressing like they were going to a Def Leppard concert.
I love that.
Way too old for me.
The Def Leppard.
No,
50. Way too old.
Yeah, I agree.
If they're wearing a T-shirt as old as they are, that's no good.
It's no good. Tasty. I hope Tasty makes it like 97 at least.
Oh man!
And at 50, it's still old.
I took on your strategy a long time ago. Yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah, you're going to
leave early.
You're going to go out early, fast, and happy.
I'm having a great time.
Right?
And often.
Yeah.
How are your feet?
How are you?
Guys,
as long as I don't put my shoes on the wrong feet, I'm okay.
He's good. How come you never have problems? Or you just don't talk about them?
I'm sure I have problems.
But I'm too high to notice.
I do my doctor differently. When I'm going to go for a blood test, I stop drinking for 4 or 5 days.
Oh, wait, you told me that trick.
Right, so you trick your doctor.
Yeah, you blind as my doctor, basically.
You're only fooling yourself.
That's what I think. Then
who am I kidding? Him or me? Well,
right.
Yeah. Well, that's the opposite of what you do, Justin. You're brutally honest.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
I like that.
And I don't change my lifestyle before the test or anything because I just want to know what I'm up against.
Right. Well, but to tell you the truth, it takes longer than 5 days to get booze out of your system.
Well,
so your doctor knows.
Well, I think
which
my
just
thing
means you're
was,
healthy as a horse.
I'll never schedule a doctor's appointment right after a beer festival.
Right.
So I did that one time before.
Yeah.
I was holy shit, man.
And that was my last one too. It was like after NHC or some ridiculous thing. Yeah.
That happened to you. I said, let me retest, okay? So then I did like a normal thing, like you did.
Right.
And then that was okay.
Yeah, I should go back for the normal one. I don't think it's going to be much different, though. I think it's going to be slightly different.
Well, that's good.
I think she's going to say, still, your enzymes are elevated, and this is a thing, and whatever.
Well, that's your white privilege. Because you have good genes and you're abusing it.
Oh,
where
I see.
other people aren't as privileged to have alcohol processing genes and lower cholesterol.
Well, listen,
so that's fucked up.
I can't save the world.
Have you guys updated the death pool at all recently?
I don't think it's changed recently. I think I've been at the top of it.
And where is it posted? Like, where can we find it online?
It's not posted, although I will say I've been thinking about this a lot recently.
We need to do that.
I really like it. I think it's a fun way to
I want to buy
predict
on a whiteboard.
Who's going to kick the bucket.
We have positions. We update it maybe quarterly.
I also think it'll just be a lot of fun when someone actually does, die.
I can't wait
and
for it.
And then we can go back through the list.
I think it'll be a blast.
See who wins. Like, we should have football squares on the thing. Oh.
But so who wins?
The football squares could go like person and then cause of death, right? So
we have to guess how?
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
yeah, you get the...
Because you know how you do the squares for the football. So on the left is the people, and on the top is like, liver failure,
like what
massive heart attack, hit by a car. We can get real specific, like Beardy, died while jerking off.
These are all alcohol.
I call this syphilis Justin Square.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just...
God, that's a tough way to go.
I'm sorry.
Wait, though.
Right. The last episode.
Because he's crazy,
but
right?
can people still die of syphilis? Isn't that
untreated?
Okay.
No. Sure you can.
Except me. That's how little faith you have in me. Is that no, people can. Well, but I will find a way.
Well, it's a syphilis and AIDS square, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. You got to put.
That's a long shot, dude. That's 100 to 1.
Right. You start combining things.
Think about how much money I'll make.
True.
You know?
And I would rather die of something crazy like that. That's fun. Like, at least that's a thing.
Syphilis.
At least that's a thing.
Not the dying itself, but not something more. Like,
he won't know that he's dying when he dies.
Everybody has a heart attack, right? Boring. But how many people die of a fucking syphilis-HIV combo?
Well,
not many.
Not many.
Not in 2017.
We will always remember you for that.
I mean,
what the fuck else are you going to remember me for? That's fine.
How many people die of shooting themselves in the head while skydiving? Probably not many. You can go out that way. It'd probably be a lot easier than SIV.
I'm telling you right now, if it doesn't happen at some like random occurrence, airplane crash, bus, or heart attack,
Air truck, that's what I'm hitting.
It'll be a heroin overdose.
By when?
Whenever I decide to take on
strategy?
that, when the body starts to fail in such a way that I'm uncomfortable and no longer having fun,
like with your feet hurting,
I'm okay with that. Still, that's fine. I have a high tolerance for pain.
All right.
I pick up the heroin habit, and that'll be how I go.
And then it's just 2 months. Maybe.
You never
I feel
know,
like because I feel like you wouldn't know how to like meter it out. I don't think you would try like with a straight dime bag. I think you would go at least like $20 worth of fucking heroin.
Do it on the first shot.
Yeah, I think
Bevo
so.
knows how to do these things.
And I think you would speedball it too. I
We've
don't think
actually
you would.
already talked about this,
Right, she's
and you
already
have
been
already
hired.
decided that I'm going to be the person who comes and shoots you up.
Yes, topless.
One last
time.
by
then, you don't remember that part of the
It'll probably Abby.
No, wait, I didn't have.
Turn off her headphones.
Abby by then.
I don't have headphones. I didn't hear what you said.
That's fine.
Nothing.
They'll get old.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
And don't talk about Abby.
I didn't.
What?
We
No
were
one
just
did.
saying by
No.
the time I'm old and this happens, Abby will be old enough to
be topless.
to shoot me
This
up.
isn't going to fly that well.
We're done.
Whole
I
other
think-
level.
Bye, guys.
All
I
right.
think
Unfriended.
Justin will go out at the wheel of the bunker. I want that square.
I don't think that thing will
Behind the wheel of the bunker.
There's 80% duct tape at that point.
That's a cool way to go.
Yeah.
It's very me. Very fucking white trash. Like, there's a meth lab in the back, and
the cops are tailing him.
And the fucking thing's on fire. And I'm still going.
Yeah.
Yes, Beardy. I'm into
And all the
this.
while, like you have one hand on the wheel and you're texting Bev and I about something we didn't do.
Yeah.
And what the fuck is going on?
That's right.
It'd be great.
That's what makes me happy. So that's how you'll know I die. If I'm yelling at you via text, you'll know I died happy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really hope you die happy.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to our guests today, Sean O'Shea from Barley Forge, and Kyle Sherman from the OC Mashups, and Scott as well from the OC Mashups, and, oh, Jesus Christ. The OC Mashups. There's a fucking O'Shea and a
Sherman.
Scott from Windsor Homebrewing Supply. Thanks for being here, too. Scott's really nice. Like, don't you always got to go buy things from him?
Yes, I do.
He just has
only because
that-
he's really quiet.
He has that, but he's also, when he has that demeanor. You just want to go buy
the homebrew shop owner demeanor.
He helps everyone that comes in that store.
I bet.
Well, he has to. It's
He
Whether he
has
likes it or
personal
not.
touch with every single person.
Very hands-on.
Very
what kind of
hands-on.
Kyle just
It's a
basically
little
was
creepy,
like,
Scott. But,
Kyle was like, Scott's great because you know why? He does his job. Everybody that comes in, he helps out.
You know,
it's amazing.
If you go ask him
Very
the price
good.
of something, he tells you
He'll
what
tell
it is.
you.
But honestly,
You hand him money,
I've
he'll
been into
take it.
many homebrew shops where
Yeah.
I've been felt like
Yes.
people were judging me when I was buying stuff.
Right.
What do
And
you
they were
mean you
like-
still use crystal malts?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
Making an IPA?
God, does that happen? That's awful.
Next week you have Julian in here.
Yeah.
From Beechwood.
Yeah.
I've had him talk at the shop, and
Oh, nice.
buckle up for that.
Yeah.
By the way,
Julian's a badass.
he's
Dick jokes? He'll be well at
One
well at
kid
home.
asked what crystal malt they use in their IPA, and why the fuck would you use crystal malt in an IPA?
Nice. We got to get him a guitar in here, too.
Yes. Yeah.
He can do some fucking metal for us, some
We'll jam
acoustic
out.
metal.
Are you all going to wear your chain wallets?
Yes. We're all going to shave our heads and wear chain wallets.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Julian is the best, but
He is the best.
it's going to get wild. in
Cool.
here.
That's how we like
Yeah.
it.
You're going to be drinking bourbon in here.
Oh,
It's gonna be
Jesus.
crazy.
God damn it.
There's another show I got to get a ride home from.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
man.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
we
all the
appreciate it.
beer, too. Jip, can you get us out of here?
Sure.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I will see you next week.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. And thanks to Sean from Barley Forge Brewing and Kyle and Scott from the OC Mashups Homebrew Club for coming all the way up from Southern California to talk about craft beer, homebrew, and everything in between. Learn more at barleyforge.com and ocmashups.org.
See? It's hard.
It's tough. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney, at least the ones that matter. Go check out Moscow's Hop Cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. And follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD, JP at Major Jip, Warren being stuck over in cyberspace at Another Beardy, and the great Beverly is now crushing said cyberspace at Bevo 1. Remember, Bevo with 2 E's. Today's show is produced by Beverly, and your host was Justin. Be sure to find the Brew Network on page.
Winning the race, JP